Benito Applebum, Benito Applebum. I'm here with well, Replicant K, but you want to be
Replicant K, Tino Be Delightful, guest recordings. I've done stuff under many monikers, all of them, all of the stuff. Shit. Here we go.
I. So
Hello.
I. How did you come up with the name like Replicant K? I can kind of guess maybe where it comes from, but is there an origin to that?
I got the name. I took the name Replicant K right from the Blade Runner.
Yeah, that's what I was
2049 Blade Runner sequel. I was like, all right, Replicant K, because at the time I didn't want my own name on my music. For some reason, I was just kind of afraid of privacy issues. There's nothing wrong. I don't have any dirt on me or some shit, but it was just like, I wanted me baby be like Blank Banshee or some shit. It's like, no, I'm gonna keep my hand out about the shit I make. But it's like the and I also had it on Reliant K, which is a band that I've actually never heard. I've just heard the name. A lot of like I'm gonna sound like totally on some shit just because like there's just some artists I just literally have never heard before. I've heard the name and shit. I've acknowledged some of the weirdest, obscure stuff, but like I literally will have not Airplane Over the Sea like all the way through or something like that.
Yeah.
If you want to roast me, I'll go ahead.
I was I had a similar situation where a long time ago, long time ago, 5 years ago. God, I was like 14. I had this YouTube series called Another Game Critic, which is kind of like a joke title because there's so many game critics on YouTube. I was like, oh, I'm another game critic, and then I discovered that there's somebody named not Another Game Critic, like that came out like right before me, but it wasn't a big deal because he didn't nobody watched him, and he didn't upload videos like in years. So I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna stick with Another Game Critic name, But
yeah, well, I was in a similar situation. I was gonna make like this YouTube channel. We were gonna call it the Filthy Casuals. It was gonna be like a collective between me and my brother and mutual friend between me and my brother. It really ended up being me who made videos at it. It was called the longest. Then that wasn't getting anywhere, and so I thought like, oh, I'll just call it the Game Time. Nor like an encyclopedic knowledge gaming, still gaming videos. It was really just a rip off of like Video Game Donkey or some shit. So I called myself the Disingenuous Gamer, and I have a channel that's still up like that. So if you search that, you're gonna find some pretty shit videos.
Yeah.
I was doing I did so much different shit under that moniker. I was starting a series called Make the Wasteland Again, really just like role playing as Donald Trump in the fall that went nowhere. There's 2 episodes out there because I'm actually mildly proud of them. I was gonna make this is 2015, so this is when Star Wars The Force Awakens came out, and I was just really hyped for all that shit, and I really liked the movie. So I thought, oh, I'm gonna make my own Star Wars series. I was gonna do the thing about Star Wars. So that was the name of the series, and each episode, but here's the thing about, and I was like, I only made 1 episode. It's like, here's the thing about how prequels and how I didn't like that. Really, it was all kind of just like regurgitating from the Star Wars prequels. Well, what a shock! I've seen the Mr. Plinkett video, Red Letter Media. It's just that, just put into a 2-minute video. I don't know. I still stand by the stuff I said in it. I uploaded it, thought nothing of it, but I still sometimes get notifications on that video. I still I was going about my day, and I'll just get a notification on my phone. Some guy's just like, oh wow, a video uploaded near the Force Awakens release. What a shock! More blind prequel bashing from Disney cuck fanboy. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. It's an old video with no views. Why does it matter? Why are people mad online about Star Wars? And I still kind of like Star Wars in my heart because it's just something from my chick. The internet has made me not like it anymore.
Well, in
Star
general,
Wars stuff, I think I might just sell.
in general, it's I don't the internet. Well, it's not just the internet. Well, I've been burnt out on Star Wars for a while, but the
Yeah.
internet kind of ruined it. I'm not a fan of the Disney Star Wars movies, but uh,
I'm mixed. I quite like The Force Awakens. I think The Last Jedi has a lot of flaws, but some of the stuff in it is some of the best the series has had. I I loved it when it came out. So the more I watched it, the more I hated it. And Solo was an okay movie that I will never watch again. And
yeah,
you know,
I Force Awakens, I didn't care for, didn't really hate it, didn't care for it. Rogue One, I kind of liked, has flaws. What was it? Last Jedi, I didn't like at all. Solo is a movie, just like what you said, where it's a movie you watch once, but that's it, kind of thing.
yeah. And I was like, I saw it with my brother, and he was going crazy for that Darth Maul cameo. And here was I thinking like, okay, I just haven't gotten too much in. Not even like, I really liked the first 2 seasons of that show, The Rebels. Clone Wars show is coming back. I like episodes of that. Good for fans of that show. I haven't seen enough. It's like it's just kind of like me with like Twin Peaks: The Return or stuff like that. Like I didn't. By the time I had gotten into Twin Peaks, The Return had been the new series of Twin Peaks had been out for a whole year. So for me, it was just like, wow. All right, I had these first 2 seasons. On to the next season.
Yeah.
It took or like it's funny because like Arrested Development or something like that. Like I didn't get into that show until the new season had come out. Like I had just gotten into the show. I had seen some episodes before. I'm kind of like showing my age by all this kind of stuff. But it's just like yeah, but it's just like literally by the time I had finished the 3rd season of Arrested Development, the 4th season was already available. And now there's one coming out. It's so weird to think about. I was in freshman year of high school. No, sophomore year of high school when the sophomore year of high school or something like that when the new season come out. And it's just weird how long it's been taking them to do another one. And it's already out. Though, like, I guess there's just been lots of weird PR stuff going on. Like, I guess one of the cast members like harassed another person, and then everyone's just been very conflicting in interviews. Some people are like, "Oh, I don't like what he did." Other people are yelling like at the other people, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Are they even gonna put this thing out now? Like, oh god.
Yeah. I didn't like the 4th season. I just thought it was, I don't know, not that good.
Yeah,
but
I thought it was really proud of itself for like ooh, we're gonna play with the format of this weird time thing. Like, on the first episode of Arrested Development, how it's like, okay, it starts near the end, and then it shows all the different elements, and it's like, okay, look at all those gay pirates, and oh wait, is one of those shit, what's his name? God damn it, Tobias. How'd Tobias get there? And then by the end of the episode, you'll find out how Tobias got there. They do time tricks like that. For Arrested Development season 4, they're like, hey, why don't we do that? But let's just spread it across an entire season to the point where when we finally reveal how this stuff happened, you're not going to give a fucking shit because it took this long for us to get there. It was way too masturbatory with the sort of time format.
Yeah, I didn't really care for it. What I really disliked, Netflix comeback, I really disliked was the Mystery Science Theater 3000 comeback. I really disliked.
I didn't even watch like 5 minutes of it. I'm not like the hugest Mystery Science Theater comeback, though I'm very proud of Mystery Science Soda. So it's like one of our big, one of the best exports we've got. That's Prince, the Replicants, and the dad from Eraserhead and Mystery Science Theater 3000. That's one of the things I'm proud of. But yeah, I didn't even bother watching it. It was just like, why watch it when there's riff tracks? Like, if Riff Tracks has got the original cast. That's what I want. Did the original cast even play the robot? I don't think so. I think they recast the robots too. So it's just like the three
They
funny
didn't.
guys.
Well,
They didn't recast the robots.
Rift Tracks. Well, even yeah, they recasted the robots, but Rift Tracks isn't even. Those guys aren't even like the original cast members. They were for a long time.
Yeah.
But they weren't the original. Just kind of interesting how many people over the years were on that show.
There've been a lot of Rift Tracks lives over the years. One day I'll go and see one.
Yeah,
it seems like it could be really funny.
Yeah,
they're funny. They're really funny guys. Yeah. So yeah, like with the existence of Rift Tracks, I kind of wonder what makes Mystery Science Theater exist these days, except for convenience, because Rift Tracks is kind of an inconvenient format and less accessible because you gotta buy the Rift Track, you gotta buy the movie, you gotta sync it up. Some people have issues with that. I never really attempted it, but some people have issues with. So I guess and plus Mystery Science Theater is just one of those big nerd culture things. So of course they were gonna bring it back eventually, and some like for it. You seem to really despise it, so I'll take your word for it, man.
Yeah, it's bad. It's just straight up bad. I think. It's a show you could bring back. It's pointless, but it doesn't feel like. Well, one of the main reasons why it doesn't feel like Mystery Science Theater, not because the actors, but their writers are different. And I think that's where it feels, because a Mystery Science Theater most of the years had the same writers. That's why I had that kind of the humor and the feeling was kind of the same. But what was I gonna say? The new season they had like writers, like respected comedic writers and stuff, and I just felt either good or bad. Some were good, some were bad in my opinion, but it just doesn't they don't really, their type of humor doesn't really mix with Mystery Science Theater. I don't know. Just doesn't mix well.
And also it's just like the casting of Felicia Day and what's his name?
Patton Oswalt.
It's gotta be like obligatory nerd culture casting. Oh, and Will Wheaton too. Literally that's like the holy trinity of like obligatory nerd culture. I'm trying to do quotes with my lips here. Casting. Like, okay, they're in fucking everything. What the fuck? I've never really liked Felicia Day. I don't get what the appeal was. I've never seen her funny at anything. She really isn't that attractive. Not to be like body shame or image shaming, because I'm an ugly bastard. But it's like she's not nice and cute. But I guess that was the appeal. Like, nerd girl. She's a nerd girl. I like rock. I like Dr. Horrible's music blog. She was a decent singer in that. But And I guess she's just not that relevant these days either. She's got like. She's trying to make it big on YouTube. Not happening for. Kind of bit on to kind of transitions. We can still talk about Netflix shows again. Did you ever see The Get Down?
All
right. It's music related, so it's like it's directed by. I've only seen one season. There's two, and I guess it got canceled after that, or just the director gave up. It's directed by, I'm gonna totally fuck up his name, Baz Luhrmann or something like that. He directed.
Baz Luhrmann,
crazy fucking movies and stuff like that. So this was an interesting project for him, and it takes place in like the late 70s, and it just takes place in New York City in the streets and follows graffiti artists, gangs, and the main character is this guy named Zeke, I think I remember, and he's a poet, and he meets up with this guy who's a graffiti artist who starts out as a graffiti artist, but then he turns into a DJ because he's actually a protege of a fictionalized version of a Grand Live, and so he meets up with this DJ guy, and like they basically kind of vicariously live through the birth of hip hop, and it's really fucking cool, and it's really stylized. Meanwhile, like he's in love with this girl whose uncle has got he's a crime boss, but he's got connections, and this girl, she's trying to get a career in disco and stuff like that, and her uncle's played by what's his name? Fuck it, Jimmy Smits, and he's really good in that. There's just a lot of great performances. Jaden Smith's in it. He's really good in that. And it just kind of follows these people in like this, with this really big Baz Luhrmann stylized style. And it has this cool, like old school hip hop vibe to it, which, and a lot of old school hip hop, you go back on it, it does kind of sound a little stale, but this show just makes it really vibrant. I haven't seen the second season, and I heard it was pretty good though, but apparently Baz Luhrmann was like, yeah, I don't want to make it anymore. So it's like, great. Everyone else. Yeah. It's a really, really flashy and stylized. It's the best, and it really has the best of the stylized disco and early hip hop, Grandmaster Flash kind of shit. When break beats and shit like that.
Yeah. It's just funny they bring every show that came out like in the 90s is just brought back on Netflix, pretty much.
Yeah. Another thing. The X-Files came back, didn't it? It keeps like coming back and not coming back.
Not on Netflix. It was on actual TV, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it keeps like coming back and not coming back. Like I don't know if it's on now. I know it's on Audible. Like they're making audio dramas of it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of X-Files. I haven't really watched it, but I would go fucking crazy for those because I'm a huge fan of audio drama and stuff like that. I like Doctor Who, and there's like I spent way too much money on these things called Big Finish, which is like they're like this upstart company who like made Doctor Who audio dramas when it was off air. The old school Doctor Who, guys. And then and now now they're still going at it. I think they're just doing much at once, so it's not really that good anymore. And they've got the license to do the current Doctor Who stuff, and it's just not that good. But a lot of the fans of the Big Finish, they're just like such bootlickers. They'll accept fucking anything. There's always those jokes like Star Wars is like they're gonna be making Gonk a Star Wars story. They do that shit like that in these audio dramas. It's fucking ridiculous. Like characters nobody likes, they're bringing back, and everyone's like, "Well, I will check it out. It's Big Finish. It's got to be good." It's like, how do those boots taste?
I love some of those Star Wars videos. Where the guys read like those videos where like they talk about like individual Star Wars characters in great detail, and they just read off of Wikipedia.
Yeah,
and they're like they talk about the backstory of the backstory of Wolfman or whatever in the cantina. And talk about his backstory and like
I love how like
and they always have that one guy that talks like this. In 19 BBY, Wolfman was born. He was the son of from Datu. It's just ridiculous. Like
I love how you could extract so much comedy from just reading a Wikipedia entry because the comedy comes from the fact that someone managed to flesh out these random fucking background characters that nobody gives a fucking shit about, and they've given like this huge fucking backstory. It's fucking ridiculous. Like the you just watch yourself guy, like he's got a whole thing about he was like a surgeon, and then he's on the lam for malpractice and shit like that. And now some poor bastard's got to write even more stories. They got to figure out what the fuck he was doing on that Jerusalem planet in Rogue One, like Mecca or something, like the holy city planet. And he's like, oh, he's there, and the planet blows up 15 minutes later. So they got to explain just how luckily he got back and how he got on Tatooine days later because it takes place like a day before A New Hope. Some poor bastard's gonna have to fucking write that, and he's gonna have to write that because no one will shut the fuck up if he doesn't, because some Star Wars fans get so obsessive like that. And that's what those back to those Doctor Who audio dramas. That's what a lot of them are kind of exist for, just to fill up stupid continuity that no one cares about. Like Doctor Who's a show about time travel. Okay, why do people have to worry so much about continuity? Like time changes. Like you can't literally just all I have to say is like, oh, it's a time paradox. I'm Doctor Who. I'm British. It's a time paradox. And shit like that. It's like people just care way too much about super fucking important details.
Yeah. I heard the backstory about Jar Jar's dad.
Oh my god, what? Oh, you gotta tell me this.
George R. Binks? Sounds like George R. Martin. But, yeah.
It's like in Lord of the Rings, how it's like Aragorn, son of Arathorn. Like, okay, it's my dad's name. It's just kind of similar.
And So George was a sailor, and he sailed with his son Jar Jar. Jar Jar was always annoying as usual, and he screwed up. George was going to hunt this giant whale like he was a Moby Dick or something, but
There's
Jar Jar
always a bigger
screwed it up.
fish.
Jar Jar screwed it up, and their ship crashed on an island or something, and George was like pissed, and he was depressed because this was like his dream to catch this giant fish, and then he was gonna attempt suicide and with a blaster.
This is canon?
No, it's in the old EU. And we show the comic. There's a comic of it. He puts the blaster to his head, but he misses or some shit. Something happens, and then Jar Jar's mom, I think he was with him or something. I was like, it's okay, George. And then Jar Jar's just he doesn't give a fuck that his dad attempted suicide or anything. It's just weird. Like,
we want to talk about music now?
Yeah, I don't know where to begin.
Well, I guess I could just kind of give you my backstory. It's just kind of how what really got me into music. I liked the Beatles ever since I was a kid. That was just kind of stuff that was always around me. It wasn't until I was a bit older when I became kind of fully aware of what was going on with the Beatles. I just really liked what was happening, and I rented this book from the library called Who Are the Beatles. Have you ever been to a Michael's store? They've got all these Who Were books where there's this caricature of them on the front, and there's just kid friendly history stuff. I looked into one of them is who were popular musicians, and they've got the fucking Beach Boys. They've who was Brian Wilson on it, and a very kid friendly version of the Brian Wilson situation. But anyway, so I read this book and it was just it's George Harrison, he got a guitar for $5 and he picked it up and played, and it was talking about how George wanted to play guitar because Elvis played one. He really didn't, but it's just well, fuck, I want to play guitar because George played one now. So it was a long saga of me trying to get a guitar because it's just I had to wait till my birthday, stuff like that. But then I was in middle school at the time, and some guy who was my former third grade teacher was like, "Hey, you still looking for a guitar?" Yeah. I was like, "Here, I'll just give you mine." And he gave me this guitar. It's still in my closet. It's kind of crappy now, but I keep it for sentimental sake. And if I ever become popular, it'll be a rare product. So I got this. It's Grande brand, and I just learned, and it took a really long time to learn. And I'm not even really an aficionado on guitar or anything like that, but it's helped me write songs and stuff like that. So it started out with Beatles, and it was kind of just Beatles for a whole year. And then it was Led Zeppelin. And then I was watching a documentary on VH1 Classic just about the start of rock. And they were talking about Who. And I was just like, this song sounds awesome. So I snuck into my brother's room and I took his copy of a Who CD and I listened to My Generation. And I loved it so much. I kept listening to it on repeat. It was just such a fucking good song. So, a lot of people talk about these are the 4 or 5 songs that inspired me. I think My Generation was one of the biggest ones for me. It was just something I couldn't stop playing. It was so good. I still love it. I think it's a great fucking song. And not to sound like an old head or something like that, but it's legitimately fucking good. Mm-hmm. And from the Who to the Rolling Stones, and also stuff that was kind of my sister, kind of indie rock stuff. So I got into Decemberists and the Shins. There's no Shins album that I really like all the way. My favorite Shins album is the 13 or 14 Shins songs that were on the MP3 player my sister gave me. So that will always be my definitive thing. But Shins, still kind of inspires me to this day with this sort of bright, jangly indie pop stuff. So it's just kind of me just fiddling around on the guitar for the longest time, fiddling around on the piano, on my electronic keyboard, stuff like that, just recording shit on a lap. We were just tearing through fucking cheap laptops in the house and just recording shit on minute long Audacity, but I was a fucking idiot and I didn't even know how to fucking export on Audacity. I don't know how it took me forever to figure that out. So a lot of stuff is lost, but it doesn't matter because it was shit anyway. I would just record that stuff. I was trying to be like Buddy Holly and stuff like that. A long process. Then we got an old MacBook. I recorded stuff on GarageBand. Nothing came from that. And then we got a computer. Terrible with handling computers. Always fucking breaking. But then we got this computer, and things were starting to go good with it, and so It was funny because I was watching that Filthy Frank video about bad internet rappers, and he was just like, talking about, these are how the bad internet rappers are like. So I kind of like, oh shit, I don't want to be like this. I want to be a rapper, but never got into Gorillas. I wanted to make beats. So I was like, oh shit, I don't want to end up like this. So I kind of was forced out of shame to buy like software or stuff like that. So what I did was my parents got me this $90 microphone. And I bought a sound interface by PreSonus. It's like the audio box, which has like XLR, and it came with free software, Studio One, which is not that great software, but it's what I taught myself with. And bought the professional version. It's not that great for like electronic music and stuff like that, or no one does fucking tutorials on it. Everyone uses FL Studio or Ableton, but I just taught myself how to use that. I already spent $120 on the professional software. I feel like I just and I might go to FL Studio, but I'm starting a sound arts program in college. I'm finally going to college, and doing sound arts. Mostly, the realistic outcome is that I become like a sound guy, because everyone needs sound guys. I can stay in the music industry and just be an audio engineer. But there's also a music production part of that. So I'm just like gonna hold off on buying any new software kind of stuff, because I have no idea what they're gonna teach me. And I know it's gonna be like some kind of DAW thing, because when I took a tour of the class, like they had like 17 computers lined up, and there was like MIDI keyboards in front of them. So it's like, yeah. But I've actually, right now I'm working on like a dream pop kind of thing. One of them was the thing I sent you, Be Delightful. Started out as I was trying to make I was like, I'm gonna do like a Berlin era Bowie song. So I'm gonna do these loud drums, but I use like these 80s drums from Splice, and it's like, nah, this sounds more like Peter Gabriel's Intruder. And I kept going, and I added a chill wave pad to it. It's like, nah, this is Running Up That Hill. And then it kind of just became my own thing with a bit of Home, more like that electronic band Home. And yeah, so it's like synthwave stuff like that, and I'm kind of inspired by like Chromatics and Desire and Julie Cruz from like the Twin Peaks soundtrack. But it's coming along slowly, because lately I've just been having a lot of the yips about, I've just literally today I was kind of melting down a bit about like, I just can't fucking do these beats, because like my friend wants to start a YouTube channel, and I'm kind of trying to help her along the way. So I was like, oh, I'll make original beats that you can play for your intro, and nothing was fucking coming out of it. We're both blaming retrograde. She's really big into astrology. I'm kind of like, all right, this is pretty cool though. Stuff kind of lines up, so why not? Fucking, I don't use it to judge people, and she doesn't either. So it's just like, well, we judge for fun. But right now, like 6 planets are in retrograde, which means like people are just like falling behind. So that just means like shit happens. A lot of people use that as an excuse to do shitty things to other people. And it's like, it's just in retrograde. I don't. I'm just using it. In fact, my music isn't fucking out good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's kind of my story so far. And, I've been kind of having fuck it. I'm going to school soon. They'll teach me the shit. And, and that includes music fundamental stuff. I was trained as of 4 years, classically trained though. So it was like doing opera and classical songs and musical theater. I'll get into musical theater in a second, but I was still glad I learned that stuff. I haven't really been practicing though. I sing, but I just don't really fucking practice. I could probably be so much better if I actually took the time to practice. But I'm still proud of some of the stuff I've put out. It's on my SoundCloud. If you link it in the podcast or whatever, go do what you want. But yeah, it's there's some stuff on there I'm proud of. A lot of it's under this playlist called Big Beats Are the Best, Get High All the Time. For you Peep Show fans out there, that's a reference. There's some stuff that there's some really early stuff I made, like when I first heard about, I knew about lo-fi hip-hop for a while, ever since I got into Filthy Frank, and he was putting out like tribute to Ronald, and those Joji tracks leaked and stuff like that. And I'll talk about Joji in a second, because okay. But anyway, but I didn't have a name for it yet, and then someone was like, it's called lo-fi hip-hop. And that's what I just started learning. So the first one was like, I just took a break beat and I just played the fucking sample myself on the guitar, and it sounds pretty good. It's one of my best ones, and I just did it myself. And then another one was I took just this track from Name of the Wind. It's called Name of the Wind from Spirited Away, and I just kind of looped that and added a beat to it. I did this on Audacity too. Like I had no idea how to fucking utilize my Studio One software to do like audio splicing, because I just didn't take the time to freaking learn any of the rudimentary shit. It took me forever to learn how to use an automation, to use like automation editing and stuff like that. So for the longest time I didn't know how to fade in and out. But anyway, yeah, so I made that, and I Snapchatted that to Frank Jav C, and he just responded back with him like giving the okay sign. So I was like, all right, this is a good sign to keep going. And then like I showed some of my cousins who are like, some of them live in California, some of them make beats and stuff like that. They're like, oh yeah, you got to keep going, man. So and then I just got a little better. Like there's one track I really like called Jodie. I named it after Jodie Whittaker. But I made this track like a day after she was cast as Doctor Who, and I was just really excited for a female Doctor Who. And she's great. She's so pretty and she's so nice and cute. So I made this hip hop track called Jodie. It was just like I took a Johnny Mathis song and just added a beat to that. And then about like months later, I was at a thrift store and I found the 45 single for that Johnny Mathis song. I think it's called, I don't know. I don't know what it's called. It's like Jane or something like that. But Misty. It's called Misty. Yeah, and I bought that obviously as a good memento. And I was like, he went to my brother's like, hey Dominic, check this out. He was like, oh my god, you use that. Oh, and before Jodie, I made this song called Plymouth Rain. Plymouth is the city I live in Minnesota. Doxing myself here, but no one gives a fucking shit. Nothing's happening in this city. No one gives a shit about me, so it's all right. But anyway, I just kind of made this, kind of. I took there's this whiz kid. Well, he's not a kid anymore. He's like an adult now. There was this whiz kid from Japan or Korea named Shunga Jung. He played like classical guitar and stuff like that. He was fucking amazing. I was listening to his recent original, and I was like, hey, this sounds kind of good. And I took a bit of it, did some rudimentary stuff to change the pitch and the timing of it, because I was using basic version of the software, and I added a beat to it, and it came out pretty good. And it's kind of cringy now when I listen to it. It's like, oh, I should probably go back and fix it later, but just remake it. But it was a start. And so I did stuff like Jodie. I had this song called I Can't Say, or I Can't See. Whereas I took Johnny Mathis's It's Not For Me To Say, added a beat to it. And I didn't realize until I was done with it that Tompa Beats, the producer, had made something exactly like it. But I was like, I'm not even big enough for people to be like, hey, you just stole Tompa Beats' thing. I'm like, I'm sorry, we had the same idea in complete isolation from each other. Plus, I think mine does a little bit more. Like mine kind of modulates and changes a bit. There's one I like called My Moorish Lover. That's another Peep Show reference. I like that. And yeah, there's just like a lot of stuff that I'm kind of proud of. One of my, I think two of the best ones I have on my SoundCloud right now is one called Tears in the Snow, which is a song I is so good I could sell it, but I won't, because I made it for my best friend's birthday, and I told her that I would not sell it or commercialize it in any way, just because that's gonna be her gift. I could just like make it just one private file for her to play, but it's part of my portfolio, and I really like it. It's really short. All I did was I took like an electronic piano VST and just kind of started playing a couple of notes over it, and then just kept adding more tika tikas, 16ths. Sorry, in music class we call them tika tika ta ta tika tika, stuff like that. But anyway, just added a bunch of those, and it just kind of built up. And to really, to put the icing on the cake, what I did is I had the automation set for the delay and the reverb that starts pretty just simple, like simple delay, simple reverb, and then I just have it like towards the end of the minute-long track go all the way up, so at the end it just builds and builds, so it sounds like all these different things playing at once, and it sounds like there's an organ and a synth or and a pad and stuff like that. It's just one piano VST. So if anyone's listening, go listen to that. I'm actually very impressed with it. And another one is another thing for my friend, but I will sell it, and it is going on my album. It's called Girl from Maricopa. It's it's just a tribute to my friend. Maricopa is just some random town, but it just sounded nice. It kind of sounds like a girl from Ipanema, but like I allude to her in the lyrics, like I talk about the fact that she's a Sagittarius. She lives in the sun because she lives in like the West Coast. It's really hot there. I'm trying to like give details about this kind of stuff without like doxing her or stuff like that, just because like she's working on some stuff, and privacy is important to her. So yeah, and it's like it's just kind of a tribute to her, and it's totally different from some of the stuff I've done. It's like it's just a straight up Beach Boys kind of track. It's like two different kind of Beach Boys tracks. There's like the early '60s or not mid '60s stuff, the Beach Boys today, where Brian Wilson was getting really impressive with his stuff. Like this is really he was really coming up close onto the Pet Sounds stuff. And then it's also a mix of the post Pet Sounds stuff, like the album Friends, where they did this kind of Burt Bacharach, samba, mambo kind of stuff. And it's kind of a mix of that. And I'm really proud of it. It took me forever to make because, you know, I just really wanted it to be perfect. Yeah, that's just like, those are the two of the ones I'm really proud of at the moment. I'm going to redo the vocals from Girl from Maricopa because I like was really, like, you know, my voice cracks it. I have a hard time hitting some of the falsetto in it, but I wanted to get it finished soon because I was going to visit my friend and I wanted her to have the track ready, for her to listen to in person. Proud of. Sometimes I just, you know, get really anxious about it, you know, and I just talk to my friend about it and she tells me I'm really talented. I know she's going to be listening to this eventually, so thank you so much. I love you. You're my muse. And she's also the reason I make memes and shit like that. Just friends, god damn it. Don't try to fan the flame. Cute. We're friends. God damn it. Fucking heteronormative bullshit over this here. Ooh, one guy.
Friends.
Yeah, like that. One guy, one girl. They gotta be together, right? That's how it works.
I know.
You're fucking Hollywood hack.
People
You're a
always
Hollywood
give me
hack,
shit.
Julian.
People always give me
Hollywood
shit.
hack.
People always give me shit for my women friends. Like, you guys.
Yeah, I hate it's like, oh wow, you're friends with a woman and not having sex with her? Are you some kind of gay cuck? It's like, no, wow, imagine that. Like, there's actually a value for having women as friends.
I know.
Wow, you can have like, you know, and plus I'm bisexual, so it's like, you know, I like dudes too. Yeah, like, but not too much. I lean more to girls, but it's just like, you know. Yeah. I'm more romantically interested in the girls. So I guess some people have an argument to say like, ooh, you're friends with this girl, you might be into her. It's like that. Well, doesn't matter. I can be friends. I can be friends with my best friend with nothing else like that. I don't know how we went on this tangent.
I have a female best friend too. So
yeah, it's like it's fucking cool, man. You get to understand the differences between each other and, you know, always ask questions about each other and stuff like that. There's a value to it. Some people are so fucking stupid. And the fucking friend zone motherfuckers too. It's like, oh, she just wants to be friends. Cool, fine. You have a friend. Friends are really hard to have these days.
Yeah.
Men and women are different, you know, stuff like that. So there's a value of having people on either side as friends, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's just make it into gender politics, all just because you went, woo! But, you know, that's what makes this shit interesting, because we've been talking about so much different shit, and this is really fun so far.
Yeah, it's weird. Is the people, you know, people that say stuff like that. It's kind of weird because they're like people who say like, oh, you can't be friends with like girls and stuff. It's weird. Like they're the same people that are usually against gender politics when they're creating gender politics. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It's just like, but what's some of the new stuff coming out that interests you? You know, like artists, not like what you're making. We can talk about your stuff. Like, what's some new stuff you've heard?
Some newer. Well, some of the artists have been around for a while. Like newer artists maybe from like the past few years I've been listening to, like, and been making newer music, I guess. Brockhampton, JPEG Mafia. I've been now getting into like anti-world stuff.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
How did you like the new Kanye projects?
Those? Yeah, those. I like Ye. Well, I love Daytona, Ye. I liked Kids See Ghosts. I didn't care for well, what's her name's album was okay.
I haven't heard that. Or
a couple pretty good tracks. But Nas's album I did not care for. It actually could have been way better. It could have been way better. I
I didn't hear Daytona because I no one put it out to me that it was like going to be part of the new Kanye project. I heard Yay when it came out. I went on a long walk, so I was like, oh, I'll just listen to this. It's short, and I didn't like it at first. I thought it sounded kind of unfinished, but then later I gave it a second go, and I was like, oh, I get it. It's just kind of raw because it's raw. Like there's this Beach Boys album from like '77 called The Beach Boys Love You. Now, if you know anything about Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys, by the '70s, he was just in bed all the time. He was fat. He was doing too many drugs and alcohol. He wasn't doing much. But this therapist who kind of got him to start doing a bit more, and that therapist ended up becoming a very evil person in his life. But at this point in his life, this therapist was doing some good, made him lose weight, and he made him just start writing songs again. So they made this Brian made this project called Brian Loves You, which became The Beach Boys Love You. And it's just kind of, this very simple, raw stuff made on a Moog synthesizer with some overdubs from the rest of the boys. And it's, it's like that. And it's like, that's what the new Kanye project sounds like to me. It just sounds like this really raw and stuff. And it comes from, and it's similar because, because of the mental health conditions of the two guys making it. I always compare Kanye West and Brian Wilson together because I kind of like, they're respectively similar in their own genres. Yeah. And so, I began to really appreciate Yay. And I've listened to Kids See Ghosts once. I really liked it. I need to listen to it more to get what other people are kind of getting from it. I don't know if it's a 10 like Antoine Fandango gave it.
No, it's not a 10.
No, I like Yay better.
To me, I'm going to go by Fantano rating. I give it a strong 7 to like 8. So that's my rating for Kids See Ghosts. My Fantano rating.
What?
My Fantano rating for Kids See Ghosts is like a strong 7 to a light 8. But,
the same. Though I'm never consistent scaling. And people react very heavily to certain kind of scores by stuff like. And I think it's because most of it, the reaction always comes from American people mostly, just because we're too used to our own school rating system where anything less than a 7 is terrible for us. So like, everyone has a personal rating scale. Like there's that guy, Your Movie Sucks. First of all, he's from Canada, so his whole 1 out of 10 grading system is probably way different. But like, everyone just kind of like reacts to it harshly. It's just like 6%. That's a fail because we're just kind of too used to our very harsh grading system. But everyone needs to know it's different,
I think it's funny that still to this day that people give Fantano shit for rating My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy a 6.
Yeah, it's like it's just an opinion. I'm not like a big fan of a lot of.
That's not even a bad school. That's like in the middle. Like that's good.
Yeah, I'm not even like that. I'm not a big fan of Fantano. I really love goofing on him because I think sometimes he's just a bit like just like. Just because well, it's just at the end of the day, it's just like he gave a mediocre review to something I quite liked. But and I love to goof on him for that. Like I really liked the new Now album by Gorillaz. He gave a much more mediocre review than I would hope for, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And like he really trashed he really trashed that 2012 Beach Boys album. That's Why God Made the Radio. And I get it. It's a really corny sounding album. It's pretty dad rocky in the production, and there's auto-tune on it. But there's a lot of good stuff in there, and it's also just kind of like, come on, it's a Beach Boys album in 2012. They got Brian Wilson back into the Beach Boys, and he really put his heart into it. You got to give it some love. And, that was just his review. But that's all subjective. If he doesn't want to like it, that's fine, because I really like it. A lot of Beach Boys fans really don't like it, but, I think it's really good for what it is and stuff like that. But, I love goofing on him.
Yeah, I don't agree with actually any of his albums that he gave a 10. I wouldn't give any of those. The Money Store is like an 8, and then, in my opinion, then To Pimp a Butterfly is probably like an 8 as well.
I think it's deserving of its rating because I think it's.
I think
all of Kendrick's projects kind of started. I think they go on a little too long. I think they started to kind of dip in interest for me when they kind of dip in interest for me when it gets to like the 3/4 of the 75% near end. But then usually he puts like one little thing in that area to kind of put my interest back, and then he just kind of blows it out with the finale. Like To Pimp a Butterfly, it starts to kind of dip a bit, but then he put Black of the Berry, wakes you up, and it kind of goes back down a bit, and then he goes with that finale like and the last one, the one with Tupac at the end, or like in Damn, kind of starts to dip, and then he brings in the Triple X song with U2 in it. It's a really harsh sounding beat going on, and like that interesting, and it dips again, and then it just goes crazy with Duckworth, which is a fucking amazing song. Have you ever listened to Damn backwards like it's supposed to be?
No,
Not that good.
yeah, because I
Duckworth,
thought it was so dumb that I didn't even bother. Like,
it doesn't work. I think Duckworth does kind of make a very provocative opening. It's kind of chilling, like I don't know, because it's a bit of a chilling song the way it starts, and to start an album like that is very interesting. I tried listening to it backwards; it does not work. How the hell is that opening track supposed to be an ending to an album? Like it's just I think it was just an excuse to sell that collector's edition. I can't think of any other reason. The way listen to it forwards, it just builds up like a standard album. If you wanted to say like it just doesn't work, Blood, it is an intro. DNA is a punching, provocative opening and a follow-up to that intro. And he didn't. And I listened to the collector's edition. They didn't even try to like match in a way where they flow in a different way. They literally just put the track list into reverse. They didn't do anything with it. Like maybe if they remixed it, would be worth a purchase. And maybe it's for like a vinyl, and for a vinyl collector, that's interesting. You're like, oh, I just got this album I really like on vinyl, but the track list is in reverse, and I think it is out on vinyl. But it doesn't make any sense to me. But I think To Pimp a Butterfly is a 10 for me. And on the Money Store, it's just the thing about I just don't listen to too much Death Grips. I really like Ex-Military, but like everything else, I get the appeal, but it's just like.
There's a project I dislike, but I was disappointed with the last album because I liked it, but it just sounds too samey. Like it sounds like they're not creating anything new. The only thing that I love about the album is that the director of Shrek narrates like the intro. He does like an intro.
Oh, I heard about that. Oh my god, I forgot about that. I can't believe that was real. I didn't hear the track, but it's just so I really try to keep in touch with them. Your Shrek was kind of my gateway into really deeper shit posting culture, you know? It's because I was in like sophomore year of high school. No, I was going into sophomore year of high school. No, I was in sophomore year of high school, yeah. And I was using iFunny and shit, and memes were fucking shit back then. And someone started posting Shrek is love, Shrek is life, which was actually like a 2 years old meme at the time. But it was in my gateway, and so I started following shit. And then I came into Filthy Frank, stuff like that, and it just kind of evolved from there. But yeah, but I really like Ex-Military though, because it's like a free album, so you get to use like all the like gratuitous sampling they want without having to pay any royalties. So that's why like, you've got like fucking David Bowie in there, and then you just got Interstellar Overdrive by Pink Floyd. Like there is no way that like they could get that like officially released and sold, because like that's just like such a gratuitous sample. And I don't I think Pink Floyd are pretty copyright tight. I don't know. I've never heard Pink Floyd being sampled or anything like that.
Yeah, they're really
weird.
I remember I've actually never really went on that's not true, I did, but so like I haven't really listened to Pink Floyd on YouTube in a long time. But I remember for a while you could not find their stuff on YouTube because except for like some of their like the Wall stuff and Dark Side of the Moon stuff. Because
I remember discovering
EMI, I think that's the record label. All their bands, not just Pink Floyd, like they took off YouTube and stuff, and you barely could find it. I didn't care as much because I have actually own and have some sounds recorded, so on CD.
I got really into Pink Floyd in like I got really into Pink Floyd in my like junior high, early high school years. And yeah, it was kind of hard to find some stuff on YouTube. There was a lot of like The Wall clips from The Wall. At one point I'd seen the entire movie just through clips. Discovering that movie was a really weird time for me. It was just so weird, like the trial and all the animated sequences like that. Is this real? I knew some stuff about The Wall and the concept, but it was like, is it this fucked up? I had never seen something that fucked up in my life before. Yeah. Obviously I've seen worse stuff now. But it's just like, remember for the longest time, you couldn't find the officially like the officially released version of the song "Careful What That Axe, Eugene," which is like one of their just like live staples. So it was all just like live stuff and stuff like that. I can never find it. And then I found a like MP3 Ripper website that like had it. So I downloaded it and like I uploaded it to YouTube, and it got like a bajillion hits just because like I was the only one who had uploaded it.
Yeah.
And I don't. Yeah. Like.
But I used to be well, I still am a Pink Floyd fan, but I used to be a huge Pink Floyd fan. Like,
Yeah.
I would like obsessively listen to them every day and stuff, like all their albums and stuff. And I don't know how I got into them. I think I got Dark Side of the Moon was probably what got me.
Same.
That's
I kind of just got into
it.
Pink Floyd through just osmosis, like just cultural osmosis, just because it was Dark Side of the Moon was just one of those albums. Same way I got into the Beatles and Led Zeppelin, just osmosis. Actually, because I would when I'd go on like long car rides with my dad, like if we were going to, I don't know, like a fucking air show because he loves airplanes and stuff like that, I would go with him. You know, we would go on long car rides, stuff like that. Not terribly long, you know, just long enough, like 40 to 50-minute car rides, stuff like that. And like he had CDs in his car, and the only one that I really liked was Dark Side of the Moon. So every time I listen to Dark Side of the Moon, I smell cigars. And it's not even the one with Have a Cigar on it, but Pink Floyd gives me this cozy dad. Dark Side of the Moon gives me this cozy dad cigar smell. It's because it's just long car rides with dad and his cigar, and it's just good memory. And my dad and I kind of bond over Pink Floyd.
Dark Side of the Moon always reminds me of it takes me back when I went camping one time.
Oh, nice.
And I listened to it. It was in the car. I was listening to it, and it was actually, it perfectly fits like the atmosphere, the environment we're around totally perfectly fits it, because it was kind of we're driving to a campsite. It was kind of getting dark. It was like the summer.
Yeah.
And that,
Pink Floyd has that.
And then because it was kind of breezy out a bit, and that.
That's a perfect Floyd feeling.
It just perfectly fit the album.
It's a perfect Floyd feeling. That's a summery, warm, windy dusk feeling. I love that. That's all that. Yeah, you and I think alike there. That's the perfect time for me to listen to Pink Floyd. And like last year, it was last year. I think so. Yeah, I saw a Pink Floyd tribute in the summer evening at this bar in Minnesota with my parents. We went to and see it. I needed to be with my parents to get into the bar. It was like, but we saw this Pink Floyd tribute, and they were really freaking good, actually. And it was a perfect time to go see some Pink Floyd music, you know. Yeah.
I think. Well, Wish You Were Here is my favorite album ever.
I love that one. That's probably my favorite. My first favorite is Animals. That's one of those. That's like
that's Fantano's favorite too.
Yeah. I was kind of told by more of the contrarian people for it to be my favorite, but it did really end up becoming my favorite on its own merits because it was just really fucking good. Dog is fucking crazy, man. I have so many different memories of just kind of like wandering around, just listening to Dogs. And one of the albums that really crept up on me, and I didn't expect it to be that good, was Obscured by Clouds, which is just one of their soundtrack movies. It's a really accessible, easy album. It's right in between metal and Dark Side of the Moon. It's a really cozy, easy, slightly poppy album. And it was just really cozy. I got good memories of that. Like I would go on bike rides and stuff like that. Here's it's just the weirdest thing, because like I've lived in my town for about 7 years. Every year, I kind of venture a little further out of it by foot because I don't have a fucking car. So I just go walk all the time. That's what kept me from being like really fat. And now I'm on a keto diet, so it's starting to just fall off of me. But like sometimes, it would just be like I would just go down the road, and that would be for a whole year. And then I'd go through a trail. And now it's to the point where I've been like walking like 6 miles from my house to a different town, for 3 hour walk. I'm in a completely different town just so I can go to the record store, the nearest record store, which is like 6 miles by foot, or like to the mall, which is like 4 miles by foot or something like that. It's like I just keep venturing out by foot more and more. And I'm such a stingy person. I don't like spending Uber money, so I don't pay like that kind of shit. Well, I'm going to school soon. I have to buy a bus pass. So, I'm just going to be spending my time in Minneapolis more often. Get involved in the scene. Yeah. Hello world. It's where Prince, stamping grounds of Prince. Some people say every single I'm just coming up with this on the spot because it sounds so fucking stupid. It's like literally like every single like inch of Minneapolis is covered in Prince's cum stains. I don't fucking know. That sounds fucking terrible. I don't know. You know, Prince, Minneapolis, sex. If your mom lived in Minneapolis, she probably had sex with Prince. Actually, I really don't know how. Like, he was really into like talking about sex and stuff like that. Does he have a reputation for like actually having that much sex though? Like all around.
You know why? He seems like someone that wouldn't really like.
There's like urban legends about how he got like kicked out of his house because he had sex with his dad's girlfriend, and you know he seemed to be like just reading about him, like he really loved the ladies, but like he loved lots of ladies at once, and that would make some of the like that. All respect to the guy who put my city on my home city on the map. Well, he did. He really did play with the ladies a lot, and that did really make them emotionally upset about kind of stuff. And some people just went fucking crazy because like Prince would like deliberately like flirt with other women in front of them, and not to like dig up stuff about that. People are problematic. I understand, but yeah.
Prince was a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, fucking weird. Tiny fucking guy too.
Yeah.
I have Purple Rain. It's not a perfect movie, but when people like insult it, I'm just like, fuck off. This is Minnesota's Blues Brothers. Chicago, they love the Blues Brothers. It's like just and it's a great fucking movie too. John Belushi, fucking amazing. One of the few Albanian celebrities. But anyway, shit. But yeah, like Chicago is so proud of Blues Brothers because it's like their music, their town, shit like that. That's what I feel about Purple Rain because they shot on location, they hired locally. My voice instructor, his friend did the choreography for that movie because Prince wanted to hire locally. Another thing about my music instructor is that he conducted the orchestra for the first American showing of the musical Chess, which was that show by Benny and Bjorn from ABBA, and he says there's a picture of them just talking and stuff like that. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's where One Night in Bangkok comes from. Bangkok, Oriental City. I've got my shitty Squire bass in my hand. That's what I've just been riffing on the whole time.
Yeah. What was I gonna say about Prince? Yeah. Like, because I live in Oregon, and we don't really have much like history.
We have Portland, which is
you
guys got Modest Mouse, I guess.
Oh yeah, Modest Mouse that's one of my favorite bands.
I love
they live in Portland. They're from.
I'd love to visit Portland because it just seems like a really happening art place.
Yeah, it depends where you go. Yeah. There's some good parts. There's some really
like Seattle.
But not about Portland. For movies, we have the Goonies.
Nice. Well, then you got Portland.
Stand By in Portland, but I Stand By Me, and I live 15 minutes away from where Stand By Me is filmed. So,
oh wow! Like even the train tracks.
Yeah.
Do people go there all the time and like?
Yeah, they have. I don't go there often, but they have. My sister is actually moving out there. They have a special day and stuff. Like it's usually on the anniversary of the movie was released or something like that. And I never went to that, but I mean, some of the locations they didn't film there, obviously, but most of it they did. Like the town, the train track, I think is there somewhere. I know it's somewhere. And then I
can imagine a lot of people want their photos taken on there, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably get hurt.
Yeah,
you mentioned something about a special day. Do you think they like stop trains from going there just so people can?
Because I never been through it, but because we're when they go in the woods, there's a woods area by there, so I'm assuming that's where it was filmed as well. But I've been out there a few times, or that town, Brownsville. That's where it was filmed, but it is kind of weird because you're driving through there. You're driving through the set. It's kind of weird. It's completely different. I mean, it's completely kind of different looking now. Some of the buildings, a lot of the buildings are still there. I don't know. Yeah. It's interesting.
I've been to the First Avenue Club where they filmed much of Purple Rain and recorded much of the album there too. A few times. I saw Peter Hook in the Light, Peter Hook from New Order, in the Light twice there, and I also saw American Football there. Both good concerts. Though, second time I saw Peter Hook in the Light, I was going to take an Uber home instead of just having my dad take me home. You just follow him up. So I was like, well, if I'm going home on my own terms, I'm going to explore downtown a bit. And I was just kind of standing outside of the First Avenue Club. And I had makeup on because, well, first of all, I'm an up and coming drag queen. I'm not going to do it professionally, but I do like doing drag stuff. It's fun. But I also just kind of makeup on as just like a goth thing. And two guys tried to come talk to me. And they asked if I was transgender. I was like, no. And it's like, well, the thing is, I want to show my friend a good time. I don't know if it was just a hookup thing they were wanting from me, or they were trying to prostitute me, but it made me very scared. And I was like, get the fuck away from me. I was like, hey, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. The other guy was like, leave him alone. This is a really bad night. And then I I did take my Uber home, and the Uber wasn't even a citizen. He was here on a visa, and he just did not know how to drive. And I was like, on just a visa like this, on so like Uber is such a weird freelance thing. How do you end up getting a freelance job on a visa? And he just this guy didn't know the road rules, and the car got stopped in the middle of the highway, and I didn't know what I was supposed to fucking do. Oh my god. And I was like calling my friend, like, I don't know what to do. She's like, you gotta find, you gotta just go, make him stop at the next place. Like, I don't know where I am. Luckily, the guy didn't get arrested, and we just drove the whole way home. It was just like, and it wasn't Uber, it was Lyft, but it's kind of like Kleenex and Band-Aid, where we just kind of just brand it all under give it all under the one brand name. But anyway, it's just like, and I wrote Lyft. I want a fucking refund or some fucking Lyft credit here because this was bullshit. And they're like, no, we're not gonna do that. It's just like, and I was gonna be like, well, I'm never doing Lyft again. But of course, I'm gonna do Lyft again because it's cheaper than Uber. That's my crazy First Avenue story. Almost prostitution and almost getting abandoned on the highway.
Yeah, Portland is a shithole for that stuff. There's a lot of homeless kids that think there's homeless, like a lot of squatters and stuff in Portland. A lot of Antifa is in Portland. And there's always fucking protests in downtown Portland like every weekend and fighting. I've never seen it in person.
There's bound to be some of that stuff in Minneapolis because Minneapolis is very active. The Minneapolis Pride scene is very big. I haven't seen like too many crazy stuff though.
Yeah.
And I'm just totally indifferent on the subject, I'm definitely very pro LGBT rights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've never seen people get like fucking beat up or some shit at like
in Portland people get beat up.
I used to love getting into that, just all this fucking like pro free speech identitarian politics stuff. Used to be a big fan of fucking Milo fucking Yiannopoulos. And I was gonna see him live at like a university thing. I couldn't get in because there was a bunch of protesters, so they locked the doors. And I made a rant about it when I got home. And I wrote a cringy Taylor Swift blank space parody called Safe Space. And if I think I threw away my fucking notebook where I wrote it in, but I'd fucking sing it for you now if I had it. So bad. It was just like I'm feeling very triggered by your misogyny. I got a long space of disorders that make me insane. Because I have a triggers. It was so bad. I cringe at my younger self and stuff like that.
Yeah, I used to be more into that. I wasn't really like that, but that cringy. But I used to always make jokes. Well, for a good reason. Like at the time, it made sense. Now, looking back, it's kind of cringy. But at the time, it made sense because when that stuff was fresh and new, I used to always like just piss off people on Facebook with like the red pill stuff. And now it's cringy looking back. But at the same time, it's like, well, that was the time because. That was when all that stuff was fresh and new. It made sense.
It felt like a party at the time. Like it peaked when Trump became president, and it felt like a party at the time. It was just like everyone's just like, yeah, we're triggering the liberals. I remember I loved at that time we all thought that like Anita Sarkeesian was like something important to talk about, and like she was a threat, and we needed to debunk everything she said. Like, what did she do in the end? She still has her feminist. Last time I cared about Nia Sarkeesian was she talked about Blade Runner, because I had just gotten into Blade Runner at the time, just as the sequel was coming out. It was like, because I got in the movie just so I could see the sequel, and like, I remember just like her review kind of pissed me off. It was like, this is stupid, but like even at that point, I was just like, does this really matter anymore? Does it matter? No. It doesn't. Why did we?
It's the same art. It's the same arguments and stuff. It's just,
and like everyone's like, well, no, her rhetoric got Grand Theft Auto banned in Australia. Like, no, Australia got it banned because Australia is very prudish. Australia will ban everything. There's clips from Lost Doctor Who episodes that survived because the Australians cut them from the episode and hid them in their and put them in their government vaults because they were too shocking. And some of those scenes are kind of creepy by 1960s television standards, but like Australia is just like, they're very prudish about stuff, you know. I'm not trying to judge, but like just everything I hear is like how certain things are censored in Australia. That just leads me to believe that, you know, just Australia has a very sort of prudish way of censoring things and stuff like that.
Yeah, like really bad. That.
Yep.
They want to ban memes.
The EU wants to ban memes, and that's why Brexit needs to happen.
Yeah, it's just
like it's like they don't want to ban memes in general. I don't think that's but they just want to like do intense copyright, like copyright anything, ban any meme that uses copyrighted footage, which is fucking ridiculous. It's back on that fucking SOPA bullshit, which keeps trying to fucking come back, keeps slipping it under fucking stuff. It's like, stop it. It's not doing anything but like all this fucking shit. It all it does is, you know, they do try to do it for good, but it just harms people. All right. Like, you know, they want to try to stop trafficking, or all it does is just kind of harm like freelance sex workers and stuff like that. You know, I'm you know, free market, so I don't care what they do. And I'm honestly, I just don't care. I'm pro sex work because, you know, why not? I know someone who lost his virginity. I know someone who lost his virginity to a prostitute in England. I don't know. He's part of that Facebook community. You might know about him. His name's Jimbo or James. I don't know. I don't know. He might have heard about it. He posts about it a lot. He's proud of it. I'm proud of you, Jimbo. Proud of you. You got me into Peter Gabriel. I'm talking about somebody. He posts about it publicly, so I don't think I'm giving anything away. I'm not gossiping.
Yeah.
He seems proud of it, so there you go. Oh my god. But anyway, yes, it's like, but like these bills, just all they're gonna do is just harm those people, and it's just like, it's just because a lot of Puritan stuff. Now we're getting into Joe Rogan. We're getting into Joe Rogan shit here. We're the new Joe Rogan. We're the new fucking Joe Rogan here. Did
you see that one video where that lion ripped that fucking dude's face off? They even pull it up.
Pull up the clip. Close the microphone. The size of your body completely changed. It takes about 8 years. Look at that thing. That thing can pull your fucking limbs off.
Can you imagine that line on DMT?
Oh my god! I was on DMT, guys. Legal weed. I'm Joe Rogan. Legal weed. I was watching a clip of Joe Rogan. He was talking about like Tekashi 6ix9ine because I needed to verify what his voice sounded like because people kept sharing this clip of him and his voice sounded it was fake in the end. It was like his voice sounds like exactly like a certain drag queen named Miss Vanjie who talks like an ass all the time, and that's exactly like Mexican Princess Bubblegum, and that's what Tekashi 6ix9ine sounded like in that video. It was fake, but I needed to look up a clip of Tekashi 6ix9ine, and I found that footage through a Joe Rogan episode. And I was watching, and I was thinking, like, could they go at least one podcast without one of anyone on the show saying something along the lines of, "Man, this is fucking crazy, man. Oh man, this is fucking insane, dude. This is fucking crazy, man."
They're high all the time. Every podcast is high.
They're fucking high, and it's just like.
I love that's actually Joe Rogan is really like one of the only few things I watch on YouTube anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just like
I like watching compilations of Ben Shapiro destroying.
Okay, I love these videos. The all the SJW destruction videos. Anti-SJW figure like Ben Shapiro, and it shows us side-by-side pictures of like a feminist getting triggered, then Ben Shapiro's face right next to hers, and it says Ben Shapiro destroys feminists. Quotes: facts don't care about your feelings.
Ben Shapiro destroys 13-year-old cancer patients. Oh my god!
Cancer doesn't care about your feelings.
You know what? Ben Shapiro seems to think he's smart because he's a 35-year-old man who goes to college university and talks down to 18-year-olds. I'll credit this opinion to my friend because she's much smarter than me, but she pointed this out. But then he went on a show with Bill Maher, and Bill Maher just fucking roasted him because Bill Maher is his age and on his level. And so Bill Maher kind of actually stumbles him, and he gets a little. You can see Ben get frustrated on this kind of stuff.
I don't know. I thought Ben was better
Ben used
than
to
Bill.
Ben
I think Ben is good as a fact. Like he's good like he's a good like human encyclopedia or whatever.
Ben started out as a pretty good like neocon,
but he's not. He's one of those people you can't really. He's good for like fact checking and all that stuff, but he's not someone you really go to for like his actual opinion on something. Yeah. He's good for bringing out the facts, but not really.
And as a slightly more liberal person, there's just a lot of stuff where it's just like, oh, come on, Ben, you're so fucking stupid about this shit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, matter in the end. And some of it's just bullshit. But he started out as like a promising member of the new right. This was and a lot of this was that's like why I kind of called myself right wing around 2016, around this whole Trump thing, because Trump was kind of promising this whole like new right thing. And it was just like, this is a new thing. It seemed less Puritan. It seemed more just like on the more rational, free thinking, fiscally conservative side. And I thought we were going to see like a pro LGBT, more diverse kind of right wing thing. And then, he became president and everyone just kind of got all the old right kind of got what they want and everything kind of settled. And Ben Shapiro, he kind of just ended up becoming like a Rush Limbaugh kind of guy. He started out as a guy that like, even if you weren't right wing, you could still respect him as an opponent. Now it's just like, he's a joke. And that's why me and my friend, we made a meme page about him. It all started out just one day I was sitting in a Panera Bread, like the white motherfucker I am. And I was like, I have an idea. And I took that meme where it was like, hey, you got a nice ass, bro. I'm your sister. The friend zone strikes Joey again. And I turned it into Ben Shapiro and his sister, because around that time, the jokes about Ben Shapiro and his hot sister were coming out. So I made that. And my friend, she was like, we should make a Ben Shapiro meme page. And that was the birth of innocuous Ben Shapiro memes from Blade Running Teens. I don't know if you've seen it or not. It's kind of blowing up. We're almost at 800. It was really slow for a while, but then recently I just started sharing memes, and it just kind of picked up because we're a diverse page. We don't like just making Ben Shapiro memes, and we love to lambast Ben Shapiro, but we do other stuff too. We talk about Martin Shkreli. My friend loves Martin Shkreli, and she made me like him too. Martin Shkreli, he's we can talk about him in a bit, but he's just a guy that was, I'll just get it out of the way now instead. He's just a guy that everybody lied about. He defended himself on so many fronts, and it's all out there. The Derafim stuff, we all know that it was, I'm going to destroy my career in the ground with all the liberal people, even though I'm a liberal. There was nothing wrong with the Derafim stuff. He gave it away for free. He had good reasons behind it. And I don't think anyone ever got hurt from the Derafim thing. And, everyone just wanted to talk to it as, he was just trying to exploit people with AIDS. Okay, a small percent of people who have AIDS need Derafim. That's the thing. And he gave it away for free. And he did it so he could stop it from being exploited. And so he could get money to do research on other stuff. He talked about this on all his streams, but nobody wanted to listen to him because the mainstream media, I'll get into my Paul Joseph Watson impressions in a minute, but it's just the mainstream media created a leftist cultural Marxist lie about Martin Shkreli. And that's right. That's one thing I'll agree with. Like, the mainstream media lied about Martin Shkreli because he's a renegade, and that's why he's in jail now, because he lied he committed fraud, which is just a slap on the wrist and a big fine for other people because he's such a renegade to all the other CEOs and pharmaceutical and stuff like that. He had to go to jail, and he's getting a longer jail sentence than rapists, 7 years, and rapists get like a year. And the prison system is fucked up. But I'm glad that he's like having fun in prison though. Like, he's getting to know all the Birdmen. He's just like, this is my friend T-Dog and stuff like that. He's getting letters and like, hopefully he comes out of this. I think he's gonna grow in prison, but he doesn't deserve to be in prison. It's fucking ridiculous. And but yeah, we talk about Martin Shkreli on my page. We talk about Blade Runner. just anything we're into, like Isle of Dogs, RuPaul's Drag Race, Twin Peaks. I got a lot of followers just by making Twin Peaks. I sort of organically whore out my page. I don't put money into it. I just whore it out. Like I just share my memes to shit posting groups and kind of just pretend that I'm not the one who made the meme. I'm just like, wow, look at this page, guys. Isn't it funny that I'm the only one who keeps sharing from this page? But it grows. It get people involved, and it just comes around, and we're starting to grow an audience, and I've got some good stuff going. I'm making a synthwave, vaporwave video just dedicated to Ben Shapiro's sister. It's not gonna have like lyrics or anything, but I'm just gonna make a synthwave track and just have Abigail Shapiro in the visuals, and that I will pay to have promoted because that's still a spicy meme and it's never gonna die because it's way too niche.
Yeah.
How about some of this new meme stuff? Or you go, you say what? Say what you're gonna say.
Paul Joseph Watson, I can't fucking stand. He's
I hate him.
Favorite people.
He's one of my favorite people.
He always looks like he got done crying before filming.
He looks like
his eyes are always teary-eyed. He always teary-eyed.
I know. His lips are wet. And he just looks gay. And that's not like to say it's an insult. He just looks like he's a closeted homosexual. He's very effeminate. And it's just so funny that like he talks about the soy boys, the weak, effeminate soy boys. Like,
you know what he said? Okay,
you're definitely bisexual, Paul Joseph Watson. You're definitely bisexual at least. Accept it.
Okay, before I get into who I think is bisexual, before that, Paul Joseph Watson, he what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. I remember this one video. He mentioned like Hobson being edgy. Because he's talking about the mainstream. Fantano did the video.
Yes, that was my favorite Anthony Fantano video ever made.
Yeah,
to list Hobson as like a positive.
He's like he's the true edge. Like what?
He's the real. Hobson is real hip hop.
On Infowars, what's funny? I actually this is one of the times I defended X. When Alex Jones did the thing on X a long time. The Look at Me video came out. Because they were saying that the kid. I was actually with Mike Cernovich, who was the one that exposed the James Gunn tweets and stuff. He was on there with Alex Jones, and they're talking about the Look at Me video, and they're all like, "Yeah, this is offensive because there's a white kid that got hung in the video. This is racist."
Like it's just
which is dumb because they didn't watch the video clearly because the video was about it was just about race wars and shit because was going on at the time, and then X at the end of the video,
the war that if there was
the poetry at the end, he was reading this poem he wrote at the end of the video where he was saying like we need to stop looking at people as color, blah blah. Like we need to stop race. This is all dumb. Both sides are dumb. He literally said that, and it's funny because that's actually Alex Jones. That's his viewpoint on this matter. But he didn't watch the video clearly. They just saw a screenshot of the kid getting hung, and he's like, he's all outraged.
XXXTentacion, he got what he wanted because what he wanted to make was a provocative music video that would shock people, and it did. It really shocked a lot of the Puritans, and I just didn't give a shit because I thought it was edgy. Like Eminem's Trump raps.
Oh my god!
I didn't even listen. I don't like Eminem. Even the stuff like that. I still like Stan as a track. I think it's a very provocative and very chilling sounding track. But even the good Eminem stuff, I just can't listen to because I can't separate it from just angry white boys who want to join the Marines.
That's perfect. I think
not my joke.
I think Marshall Mathers LP is a decent album. It's a decent album.
The second one,
the rest, people think the Eminem show's a classic and stuff.
I have that on CD.
I don't really like that album or anything. It's not really that bad actually, but it's just I think White America, which is a track a lot of people like, I think is fucking cringy. I think that's cringy.
I know, it's just like America. I just don't like his voice, and especially when he tries to sound like annoying, he just sounds like someone you go to high school with who's just fucking. Eminem sounds like the annoying kids who want to sound like Eminem.
Yep.
Eminem fans could do pitch perfect impersonations of him because it's fucking annoying.
Yeah, like that Trump rap, he said, my favorite line. Well, there's two cringy lines. So the first line is hilarious, where he's like, That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Should I drop it on Donald Trump? Probably not.
That's a damn fine coffee, Diane.
He's such a good freestyler that he takes like 12-second pauses.
He's like, stop.
And you know what the fans were saying? There were people saying, "Oh, it's just because this is a lot to sink in. That's why he has to pauses." No, it's because he can't really freestyle that good. That's why. Fuck. They all try to make excuses and stuff. Well, it was a bad rap, but it had a good message.
Yeah,
I just heard that.
Oh my god! Well,
he didn't say anything new. I don't know. Anyways, move on to the person I think is.
Hey, you know what my favorite freestyle is?
What?
If the world ever has an apocalypse, I will kill all of you.
Oh my god!
Fear will be plentiful, death will be bountiful. I will spare none of you peasants. Fuck your religion, your pastor. Fuck kids. I got sent to prison. PC. I see the devil. He's in you and me. You need saving to listen to see. Follow him home. Cut in the right corner. Nobody sees you. Turn off your phone and leave it at home so no one can trace you. Mask your expressions. Appear to be calm. They won't need your intentions as soon as you're in. Let them all know that they're in presence of. I can't do it anymore. But I actually heard someone like synced up the rap that freestyle to the beat, which they just cut out for it. Yeah. It does actually fit in, so it's like if it was in that then I wouldn't mind it too much. It would just be an edgy rap, but just the fact that you made it acapella is so funny. Yeah, I love when people meme on it.
I actually did a cover of it on this channel a long time ago. I did because I had this character I don't really play. I bring back here and there called June Macaroni. It's just this weird basement dweller character I created, and he's like rapping that, but it's like really bad. He's not really rapping, he's just reading off it. He's like, if there was an apocalypse, I'll kill all you fuckers. That would be bountiful. That's just the video. It's just me reading that. But anyways, the person I said earlier who I know for a fact is bisexual, but he won't ever come out, is Joe Rogan. Actually,
probably he does. He seems like a power top
because people. Well, what's just funny is people joke about it and stuff. In the comments, you'll actually see some people. Because in one video, one of his podcasts, there's actually a clip where he's like making fun of those people and stuff. But it's funny because his video, it's like, I don't care. But the thing is, it's just funny because he's not really like that bro-y, like personality wise, but he kind of has that masculine, like, ness to him. And so it's kind of funny. Like, he has tendencies, but he will never admit it or anything. Because in his videos, he'll be talking like a guy, and he's like, "Ooh, he's cute looking. Ooh, oh," like there's that one reason like Joey Diaz is on there, and they're looking at an old photo of him when he was a teenager, and he's like, he was with his basketball team he played or something, and he's like, "Oh, Joey's a cutie. Can you zoom in on him?" Or zoom down. Jamie panned down is like he was checking out, like he thought like Joey Diaz was hot. And anyways, people always make jokes that he always has tendencies and stuff, but it's just funny because he's one of those guys that would deny, kind of get mad.
Yeah. I want a quick talk about just this interesting thing on the internet. My friend gave me the get-go to talk about this. But okay, did you ever play League of Legends in its prime?
No.
Okay, this is the start of it. Okay, so there is a League of Legends video called "Fiddle in the Middle," where it's just this stupid song where this guy's just like, "There's a fiddle in the middle. There's a middle with the." I don't know anything about League of Legends, but it's like a million hit video, and it was popular enough that I asked some people who've played League of Legends, like, "Hey, have you heard of this video called Fiddle in the Middle?" They're like, "Yeah," and like it was even referenced at a Riot, the people who make the game, at like a Riot live stream. Some guy was like, "Fiddle in the Middle." I'm not gonna do it. Okay, so Fiddle in the Middle is uploaded by a man named Alfred McDonald, and Alfred McDonald is one of the most interesting, terrifying people that I've had the displeasure of encountering on the internet. Not personally, but through my best friend. And I just asked her now if can I talk about this guy? I can leave your side of the story out of it. But she said I can spill everything. So I just want to just tell an interesting story because the story is so interesting. So there's this guy named Alfred McDonald. He is kind of like the Versace killer. All right. He's got the exact same personality. If you ever there's this they made a TV show about the Versace killer, and just watch that show. He's exactly like this. He is a sex pervert, he is a drug addict, and he is a malignant narcissist who really thinks he is a fucking genius. And he's so disingenuous. He like adores like people like Miley Yiannopoulos and Jordan Peterson, and I like Jordan Peterson, but he thinks he could be just like him. But like there's no way he'll ever be that popular and stuff like that. And if he does become that popular, there's so much dirt that me and my friend can fill out on him. It's fucking hilarious. So my friend like became my best friend. She became friends with him on Facebook, and they just kind of just talk about stuff, and they started DMing each other, and it got weird really quick because he started to just like really get really open about sex stuff with her. And my friend is 17, all right, so like it's just like it's like, what he's doing is illegal, all right. And so then she said spill everything, so I'm spilling everything. So he said that he would start paying her to just start paying her, because investing in her, because he said that she could become like a female Jordan B. Peterson. And I was very worried about this. I'm very, very, very worried about my best friend. I'm always concerned about this stuff. And I was very worried going in, telling her that she really shouldn't do this. And but she said it'll be fine. She made it clear that he should not expect anything sexual from her. This is not the relationship they're going to have. It's going to be purely intellectual. So like, all right, fine. And it became like that for a while. Became it just became uncomfortable very quick. He began to like flirt with her. He was like, you should come down to where I live and you can stay with me and I'll get your career paid for. And it became it was so obvious. He was just trying to bang her, and he was trying to get her into sex work and stuff like that. And she's a 17-year-old. And I don't know why he seemed, and like, so it got to the point where she had to just bail. She blocked him and everything like that. That seemed the end of the story. And he sent her money and like a Chromebook, and stuff like that. So it's like, and sometimes she feels bad about it. I don't think she should feel bad about it. She's got receipts, man. She could get this guy in jail. Not in jail, but like, anything he could try to say about her, and he's got no dirt on her. My friend has done nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong that he can dig up on her. But she's got the receipts, man. But so then she blocked him. That was the end of it. So days later, I've gone down to where my friend is. We're we're having a vacation together. And when the vacation's over, I uploaded some of our selfies together, and the guy, Alfred, liked the selfie. He was somehow stalking her through my Facebook, or like just stalking pictures she was tagged in. I was like, this is so fucking weird. He totally was stalking me and slipped up. And then right when I land, or I'm about to leave her state, I get messages from her. He messaged her, and he's like, the internet never forgets. I didn't like your photo because there was I cared about it. I liked it because it's a bad photo, and you should know going on in this career of yours that everything is screenshotted, and people are going to find embarrassing pictures like this. And then addressing the fact that she blocked him because he was becoming very creepy and practically trying to groom her, which luckily he didn't. My friend's strong and resilient about this kind of stuff, but he was just like he said, like, he called it like, be nice to me, white girlisms. Like, no, don't abuse me the way you are abusing me like this. And it was just this long rant. It was so fucking funny. It's like total lack of self-awareness from this guy, because he's just like, like, remember everything is screenshotted. Like, yes, Alfred, everything is screenshotted. For my friend's case, pictures of her not wearing her makeup, taking a selfie with her best friend. In your case, incredibly sexual detailed messages that you were sending to an underage person. But he still subtly tries to like intimidate not just her but me too, by like, he messaged our meme account on Instagram, because we followed him on the meme account, just because like we wanted to still see the embarrassing shit he uploads. Like, he loves making gonzo videos of him just like stuffing his mouth with jalapenos, or like eating an entire chicken wing or orange all in one go, like a fucking gorilla. It's fucking crazy. He's like when eating it. And I love
this is the part I don't get.
What?
Why was she like, he thought she was like the next, like the female Jordan Peterson? I'm confused.
Well, because my friend, she's just really smart, actually. Like, she loves talking about politics. Like, she's how I learned all this. Everything I said about Martin Shkreli, I got it from her. She's really smart and really well spoken, really philosophical. But but I think she needed money and stuff like that. She just needed more, because he's got a bigger following. So she just needed It wasn't really what she needed. It was what he needed, and because what he needed was to bang her. Nina, if you're listening to this, you said spill everything. That's the case. But yeah, I don't know. I think Nina, my friend, shit, I put her name out. Fuck it. I don't think I was supposed to do that. Oh god. Okay. But yeah. That's kind of where the story ends. Like he messaged our meme account, like smugly, like, "Who are you? Like, you know who I am. I've uploaded memes of you on here." But that's just the curious case of Alfred McDonald. I don't know how many people watch this podcast. I don't care. This is a fun fucking podcast anyway.
It's
I'm not trying to insult
there's
it.
not a lot. It depends.
Yeah, but I just thought like I really wanted to bring an interesting story to the table here, and this is an interesting story. This guy, he's an escort and a massive drug addict, but he doesn't disclose that in his like videos and stuff like that. He had this video talking all about like how he has long 24-hour awaken non-sleep cycles, and he attributes that to his hard work. Like, I work so much, I never have time to sleep. No, it's because you're on coke. And stuff like that. And he never discloses the fact that he's an escort. He talks about having sex a lot. And the best joke I ever had, the best like observation I ever had him was so funny. It made my sister crack up, and she knows nothing about him. Just out of context, this made her fucking die of laughter. He talked about how he's had sex with multiple women of different sizes and how it's more difficult to eat a fat girl's pussy. I don't think that's true. Well, I know it's not true now because I know he's had sex with lots of women just through his testimonies. I just, joked about the fact, like, I think he's only had sex with one woman who just got progressively fatter. So that's how he knows about all the different body types to have sex with, because one woman he had just got fatter and fatter and fatter. So that's just the curious case of Alfred McDonald. My friend said spill everything. And I just wanted to really bring something really funny to this. And I can't think of any funnier than just like the weirdest fucking person I've ever encountered on the internet. So like, just check out his videos. It's his name, Alfred McDonald. He's a fucking crazy guy. And, I'm not trying to put him into jail or anything like that. This isn't a big thing. I'm not on the Joe Rogan experience. This isn't a wish hunt.
Nah.
But you know what? It is how it is. And it's a funny story,
Yeah. I might not be probably the creepiest person I've encountered on the internet. So this guy, he doesn't have like a YouTube channel or anything that I know of. So there's this, I'm not really in the group anymore. I'll pop in my head here and there. So there's this YouTube channel called Talking with Famous People. I still watch it. I'm still friends with the people, part of the channel. So he talked about a lot of stuff, like random stuff, mostly like he did a lot of like MBTI type videos and stuff, and then like psychology. There's like philosophy, all that kind of shit, intellectual shit. And then he makes a lot of videos. He has a lot of fucking videos. He used to make like 3 videos a day and shit. He doesn't do that anymore. But anyways, he created like this community and shit, and I've been part of it for like 2 years or something like that. And there's one guy in there who's the only person. There's people I didn't really get along with in there in the past 2 years, but there's this guy who we've had verbal arguments and stuff on like group chats and stuff. Yeah. And he kind of reminded me of that guy you're talking about. Yeah. He was just really weird. Well, first of all, I don't know if he's ever done it, but my one friend told me one time when they're in a group call thing alone, he said he told them that my friend that that he thinks like the idea of having sex with like underage girls and stuff is like thrilling and stuff. Just randomly told him that.
That he's into the idea of having sex with underage girls?
Yeah, he's into it, and he's fucking he's creepy.
He sounds like Lucas Werner. Was it Lucas Werner?
No, this is not. Okay. This guy is not like he's a nobody pretty much.
Oh yeah.
So this guy, he's creepy as fuck. He makes everybody in the room group uncomfortable and stuff, and nobody really denounces him. And I'm the only one that ever like denounces him or anything. And
good on you, man.
He's always flirting with girls. And every girl's hot to him, and a lot of these girls too are like boyfriends, husbands, and shit. And And I one day, you know how he got pissed at me, angry at me because I told him like, dude, do you think, because he calling the girls like, damn, you're sexy as usual or something like that. And I said, you think every girl's sexy? And then he's all like, well, you're just ugly as fuck. And like, started getting, and it's funny because I'm not someone who really brags about my appearances, but this guy is not like attractive. He's one guy that brags about banging girls like every week and stuff. And like, I know for a fact, like the stories don't even add up and shit. It's like you're just making shit up to seem cool. And someone got pissed at me and stuff, and never hated me since. But he's creepy as fuck. I can't believe he told my friends that when they're alone in the room together. That's just creepy. Like, it's not surprising that came out of his mouth or anything, but I'm just like, what the fuck? And yeah, he's probably the creepiest person I ever came across because he seemed like probably a like. I wouldn't be surprised if he one of these days a convicted
pedophile, Tekashi 6ix9ine motherfucker.
Yeah, but he seems like it. Like his personality and stuff, you can totally tell that like he's that type of dude. I never really came. It's because it's weird because I have never really came across someone like that in my life because there's people I've heard who are like, oh yeah, I knew this neighbor who seemed like a child molester, and so I've never had that ever in my life. Never came across anybody like that. But this guy, he's like, so it was just weird to me because I've never had any never knew anybody.
Yeah. Like you ever met any famous people?
Just no. I've talked to some YouTubers, I guess.
Oh, nice.
For years, but I've never.
The most famous person I've ever met was I was in a hotel lobby because my school had an event there, and she's probably the most famous person, I guess. Her name's Kristen Shaw. She's a voice actor, or she's a TV actor. Mostly does voices. You'd know her maybe from. She's in Gravity Falls as the girl Mabel. She plays the dinosaur in Toy Story 3, the girl dinosaur. She's Tina in Bob's Burgers. Not Tina, right? Or what? The girl that sounds like this. She's the voice actress. That sounds
yeah. She's really funny. Is she the one that has a really goofy face?
Yeah, she's got the goofy face.
Yeah,
and the goofy voice.
She's in Flying the Conchords.
I see. Yeah, she's just really funny, and I just met her in a hotel lobby, and it was my sister's boyfriend that recognized her, and we got a picture with her and everything like that. She's probably the most famous person I've met, and I've gone to a Doctor Who convention a lot, and I meet some of the actors from Doctor Who. They're probably bigger in England than in America.
I've talked to. I've never met anybody famous because I don't really go anywhere. There's famous people.
Yeah.
I wish I would more often, but I just don't. In general, I don't drive or any. I don't really live near anything, so I don't. But I've talked to some popular YouTubers over the year. I have, or even like not really SoundCloud. I've never really talked to any popular SoundClouders or anything. But I talked to. I actually have talked to Red Letter Media before. I have.
Nice.
But it wasn't really that. It's cool. But it wasn't really that because it was a thing where they would just interact back and forth with fans and stuff, so it wasn't really like special.
Even the slightest connection.
I don't know who it was. I'm assuming it was Jay. That's what I'm assuming who it was. They say who it was. I'm assuming that's who it was. I'm just assuming because by the how the
way they talked.
wrote, it was Jay probably.
Jay,
we would talk.
He seems to have the most social media presence anyway, because he's the only one who seemed to do Twitter a lot from the big three, like out of Mike, Rich, and I don't even see Mike and Rich tweet anything, but it's Jay and the bald guy Jack. They seem to be the only ones who really I
assume
have any Twitter presence.
That's what I assume is Jay, and like the humor was kind of like his, but then I talked to that's probably really the most popular because there's other people too that kind of have big followings and stuff. There's even some underground classic YouTubers I've talked to. I guess I've talked to Well, there's some I've kind of like interacted with on social media, like they've liked a post I made or become friends with them on Facebook, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I on my old account, I was friends with the irate gamer actually.
Oh my god.
A legend. He's a legend for just being a bad YouTuber.
Anytime
Legend.
usually if I send something to Frank Javc, he'll like the comment
Yeah,
or the
and then,
message or something like that. He's very sweet like that.
I think Larry Bundy Jr. I think I've talked to.
Oh, Guru Larry.
Larry. He talks to everybody though.
Do you know who Linkara is? Then you probably heard of Linkara, right?
Yeah.
Okay, at the most recent Doctor Who convention, Linkara was there because he lives in Minnesota, actually. It was just so weird, just encountering Linkara, and then we were doing this escape room thing, and we did it with Linkara. I just don't care for escape rooms and stuff like that. But he was like, "Hey," to me and my brother, "Hey, do you guys want to join us?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do the escape room with Linkara." Not the biggest fan of Linkara.
Sorry to interrupt your story, but
yeah, no,
someone that actually became more popular after he died. I actually used to talk to, here and there. I talked to you know 3Pac.
Oh, I heard about it. I didn't hear about him until he died.
He was even on Fantano's Cal Chesta's album. I talked to him. We were actually gonna make a song together.
Aww.
Well,
I didn't hear about him until he
wanted a lot of money. He wanted a lot of money for it, for a verse, and I was like, I'm not gonna give him that. But then I was like, well, in the future. Sort of I said, you know, I thought I was like, well, in the future, I could have just paid. And sadly, he died. I'm friends with a lot of I've talked to a lot of his associates and friends and stuff. His brother, I think, follows me on Instagram and Twitter and stuff, and because he had a whole foundation, he's making a documentary on him right now or something.
That's really cool.
I could have probably got interviewed for the documentary because I've actually talked to him and he knew who I was and stuff. Like I was kind of known in that weird. So there's like it's kind of weird. There's certain rap communities and stuff. I was kind of in that. Like you know, like people involved in the collectives and stuff. They kind of create almost a little community and stuff. So I was kind of involved in the Zero Hoots gang community, sort of. I wasn't in it, but I was like associate, and they all knew who I was and stuff. And then I was kind of friends with well, not friends. I've talked to him and stuff. We were cool. I have some friends on Facebook, but we don't like interact or anything really. Jalen Thomas, he's a pretty popular shit poster. He was in couple of 3Pac's videos and stuff, I think. He's a bizarre dude. He's the one who made, you know him. I bet you know who he is because he's the one who made that really popular video. Remember the video of the black kid who thought he was a real life Super Saiyan?
Kinda. What's the guy's name again?
And he was like, my name is Jalen and I'm a Super Saiyan. And then he took his shirt. He was like screaming throughout the video with like Dragon Ball Z music playing. Took off his shirt and was like, ah.
What's the guy's?
People made a lot of what?
What's this guy's name?
His real name is Jalen Thomas, but his YouTube channel is like Killmaster or something like that. I don't know. But he made another video that was kind of popular he made a song called Jacking Off to Your Facebook Pics, and he actually got interviewed on Howard Stern and stuff. And I've talked to him here and there. I used to interact with him. I don't really, as of lately, not really, but he actually called one of my friends on there really hot, and she commented on one of my posts she just randomly because she would do that, and then he replied to her, "Damn, you look like a fine ass white girl." And I told her who it was. She's like, "No, that's not who it is," because she knew the Super Saiyan. Because he's in a lot of cringe compilations and stuff. He'll always pop up, but he's not really popular, but he's popular for that video because that was like a viral video and stuff. But and then some people I think I've kind of talked to. Was it kind of involved in Guru Larry, the kind of the underground game reviewing community, sort of like Silent Rob, and Emmer Prevost. That's another YouTuber that died. I've talked to I think a couple times on like social media or YouTube comments and stuff.
He's that one guy. We probably don't know who he is, but he was kind of involved in that community. Like Link Hart. Well, I don't know what you call that game. That the review community and stuff. Like they know who those people are and stuff. But they talked. Him or Prevost, he did a series. He was originally called Hellsy 920. He did a series called Reaction Review, which I thought was pretty funny because people would send him like really bad movies, and he would react to it and stuff. And you just see his like people just torture him, like just torture him, and you get pissed off. He's all like, "You fucks! I can't believe you send me these shitty movies. I'm gonna fucking if I see the directors in person, I'll gladly murder them." If I go to prison, you know, I'll be happy with it and stuff. And he was pretty funny, but he died. He died because he died last year because he was very overweight and he was going through surgery complications and stuff.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, and he died.
Something I find so very weird and precocious is, I don't know if I'm using that word right, is just the whole Facebook meme or just the whole Facebook community. People always call it the community. That's kind of the connections that we ended up being friends with Facebook for. Yeah. But there's I don't understand it. There just seems to be all this weird thing bridging them together. I don't know if I'm interpreting it right, but everyone seems to be friends with the same people. There's like, and there's always just like, okay, there's like, does the word Sadie Vance mean anything to you? Like, she was just like one of the. Sounds familiar. She was just this e-girl who, like, you know, was very popular because she had big boobs and she had a nice dog, and like she became friends with everyone. And then, like, I guess she like lied to people and then stole art or something like that. I don't know too much about it. But that became a big that just became a big thing. But there's other people like, I want Sadie Vance to come back. Some people are like joke about Sadie Vance. This is one guy. I think he's admin on Le Courier in Le Mojave, Ashton or something like that. Ash, I'll just call him Ash because I'm not gonna use his last name. I don't know if it's real or not. Don't want to dox. But anyway, I was begging him for this one screenshot because at one point she said like, my mom broke my pencil. I need it for school. I can't go to school without my pencil. It's just like, what? One fucking pencil and you can't go to school? And I was like, please, man, tell me you still have that screenshot. He's like, yes, it's a blessed image. Like,
yeah, the community is weird because I always talk about this to other people, and it's like, how does this even started? It just seems like so random, like that all these people just know each other. How I joined it was I didn't even know it was an actual thing. Actually, the 3POC Associates is how I pretty much joined it because they were part of the community as well and stuff. And so that's how I joined it, which was like in 2014 or something like that. And when I started getting more involved in it was like 2016 when I started realizing that it's an actual community. At first I was like, oh yeah, I have some of these people on my friends list who are like shit posters and I don't know them in real life, but they're just some dudes. But then 2016 I got more deeper. That's when I actually started getting deeper. And it's weird because there's like that Sadie Vance you're talking about. There's like certain key figures, key people. Sadie Vance, Lucas Warner. Even there's that one dude who is not really probably as popular as them, but he's popular. He's not really a shit poster, but he's just popular. Everybody's always friends with him. Who is? I don't remember his last name. You know what I'm talking, Nadim or whatever.
Nadine.
He's the guy. He has a lot of tattoos and shit, and he always talks about going to hardcore shows. And he's just famous because a lot of his Facebook posts got like really popular. He always talks shit about like a bunch of people and stuff. And he just got popular through that pretty much, and a lot of people on Facebook are friends with him. And even okay, this is fucking random. I've talked to there's a bedroom pop artist who's kind of popping right now named Temperex. I really like his music. I've talked to him only once, but I think he like knows Nadim and shit. I don't know. It's just weird. Everybody knows who he is. And
there's so many weird connections online.
Yeah, it's
the way I ended up in this community sort of thing was because I actually matched with a girl on Tinder who lived in my town, and we decided to friend each other on Facebook. And then she was just friends with a bunch of these people. She's friends with one of the guys from Le Courier in Le Mojave, which is a like Fallout New Vegas shitposting page, and that seems to be kind of ooh, my page just got to 800 likes. Nice. But yeah, that just kind of seems like one of the big connections is that like the admins from that page seem to be big parts of this thing. And like other people, like they just all seem to be friends with each other. Like I don't know how these people all know each other, and I don't like want to give their names, but I just don't know how. Like these seems to be their shitposting accounts. I just like don't know how much I want to divulge it from it. It's just because it's just like I don't know the boundaries. That's the problem with this weird community thing. It's like no one knows the boundaries, and I'm friends with all these people, and I'm just using one IRL account. Like my mom is friends with me on Facebook, but she
I actually got rid of my IRL account because of the shit posting stuff, because it got out of control. My family started like disowning me and shit. What's with the people you talk to on there and like the shit they say? And I just said fuck it. I just deleted my account and created a new one, 2 new accounts, but I just use my extra accounts.
I share the
don't have my family on there, but
I shared the less dirty stuff I find throughout the community and stuff like that on my IRL. I'm really thinking of just making my own clean Facebook for family. Then I can start adding people that people seem to be like everyone who graduated from my school seems to be adding some of their former teachers, and I wouldn't mind being friends with some of them just because
I'm friends with them online, and I don't even know what they even think of my Facebook. Like she's very open-minded though. Like she probably smokes pot and stuff. Like she's like a hippie teacher and stuff. So I don't care. I don't think she cares either. So
I went to a Catholic school.
Yeah, because a lot of my family, like some of even the stuff I share and stuff's way worse than I share in my other account. Like they would get even more offended. Like the article, like sharing articles, like experts believe that the Holocaust, they only killed 1 Jew, and like I don't know, can we get like stuff about like hitting women and like like I don't know, this stuff is way worse now.
Jesus, but this is like a weird thing. The Facebook community is so weird.
Yeah,
but I've met some interesting people. Some of them I think are very good friends and stuff like that. Though I met my best friend through the internet, but that was just like a completely different weird connection. We just met on Instagram. I love the Beach Boys. Then we just randomly encountered each other again because she posted the of hers to I don't know which group. Is that, implying we can discuss music or chart posting? I don't know. But she uploaded a selfie of herself with holding Horses by Patti Smith. She's like, what do I listen to? I said, you listen to the Beach Boys because we know each other through Instagram. She's like, oh, I'll find you on Facebook. And then she friended me on Facebook. And to that point on Instagram, we didn't really interact much. But then we just started messaging each other on Facebook, and we ended up becoming best friends.
So actually, I actually know how the community started, because I was a question. I was always curious because nobody really knows. My one of my exes, who she's not really in. She always she's not in the community anymore, really. But she's actually one of the early members, and well, she wasn't there when it started, but she it started because a few of these Facebook groups that they're like meme groups and stuff. They're like, one of them was called the Community, I believe. It was called something like that, and they're all in Facebook groups and stuff, just groups, all the shit posting and stuff. And then people started just shit posting on their actual accounts, and then but those Facebook groups I don't even think are even around anymore, or they probably are, but nobody uses them. I don't know what their names are or anything, but that's how it started, because there's these few groups that are kind of connected, because it started as a small group of people, but then of course when you have a popular Facebook group, it grows bigger, and then people start, that's how all that shit started. But that started, I think she joined around the same time as I did, but I think it started in 2011 or something like that, the groups. Because there's a lot of people on here that talk about oh yeah, in 2012, remember I used to post like that. I don't know. There's some old people, pioneers. There's some pioneers, but yeah.
I'm trying to think of some people you might know. The guy Rowan, right?
Yeah,
he's one of the rappers. Yeah, he's one of those. He's one of the rappers in the community, I guess.
Yeah.
And he seems to have a lot of. He seems to have a lot of these connections.
Yeah.
Shay, you know who Shay Guerte is?
Yeah, I know who that is.
I don't talk to her much. She seems nice though. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of people just I don't talk to you, but she seems nice.
Yeah.
The closest, the closest person I think from that community is that guy I talked about, Jimbo, who lost his virginity to a prostitute. He's the community's resident '80s Peter Gabriel fan, and he and I are like, really close. Well, not like really close, but we're very. It's weird. It's like we have a very, very masculine men friendship. It's just like always talking to each other, but we can't say we love each other because that is gay. I don't know. He's just one of those guys that I really like. I'm always talking to him about music, and he's always talking to me about music. We talk about Red Dwarf and shit like that. I love that guy. I love that guy. If you're listening to this, Jimbo, I love you. No homo.
But yeah, it's just interesting. Like even a couple of my friends are friends with random people in the community. They're not even part of it, but they just are friends with.
Exactly. I'm not a part of it, but I am.
Yeah, I guess I'm officially, because I've befriended people in the community. I've befriended people, and then I shitpost myself, and so I'm pretty much part of it.
I would contribute so much more to this community if I wasn't a part of it on my one and only in real life account, where I'm friends with everyone.
Yeah, I've actually the only person I met in part of the community in real life is Rowan. It's the only person.
Oh, that's cool.
We don't live far from each other.
That's nice.
That's how I knew him, because friends of mine knew who he was in real life and stuff. People know who he was, but
yeah. Well, like my gateway into this community.
I didn't even realize. It wasn't really a gate, because I was already kind of a part of it, because I was talking about the 3POC people and stuff. So I already knew people from the community, kind of. And I didn't realize he was a part of that as well. So that's what got me more interested. So I was like, there's locals that are part of this community as well.
Yeah, my gateway into this community was someone I met with on Tinder and lived in my town. It's just the weirdest thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but what was I gonna say? It's kind of weird. I mean, it wasn't really weird meeting him. I've talked to him on he's been on a couple of podcasts and stuff. I've talked to him on Messenger and stuff, but it was kind of weird meeting in real life, because it's kind of weird meeting like someone in the community in real life, because you're so used to like this they're almost like this meme characters or something.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of just weird. Like,
well, it's just kind of weird meeting anyone you've met through the internet in real life. Like I met my friend through the internet, and like, it was just so surreal. Just like, it was funny because like, once I get, I get to the airport and my internet is so bad, like I'm still trying to message her, making like, okay, I'm at the airport, I'm here a bit early. I'm just like waiting for the internet to like work properly so I can get up to date. And she's just like, no, you got to go here. And I'm like, here? It's like, no, downstairs. And then I'm like looking around, and then I see a head in the distance. I just see something moving around. I'm like, oh my God, that's her. And you get closer and closer. It's like, that's the fucking person I met on the fucking internet, and she's my best fucking friend, and here the fuck we are. And then like literally the first day of just like hanging out with my best friend was just like, I can't believe I am here with my best fucking friend who I met through the fucking internet. This is so fucking surreal. But it was great.
Yeah, then when I was hanging out with Rowan, he kept talking because he's an anti-world fanboy. He's probably one of the only anti-world fanboys that exists. And he was like telling me, he's like, yeah, I got these recorded CDs. He's like, I got Syringe's every single album on a CD. And he's all like telling me, he was bringing stuff because he met Syringe. He's like one of the few people that have ever met him in real life.
Never heard of him, but that's cool.
Well, he goes by Shibber. Anyways, he was Rowan's actually on one of his album covers. You can't really notice it at first glance. If you look closely, you can actually see him because it's from this picture he was wearing a banana suit. And Syringe, or Shiver, that's what he goes by now. If you say Syringe, he gets pissy.
Wow.
Shiver put him there's like I don't remember the album cover, but he's like in this like TV, I think, or something on the TV screen, and it's kind of like distorted colors, but you can see that like Rowan and like close up. or something like that.
That's so funny.
It's just funny, and he didn't even like. I don't even think he ever like asked him or anything. He's found it on Facebook or something because he's part of the community as well, and then he just saw it on Facebook and just decided to use it or whatever. But
that's cool though.
yeah.
Shit, what was I gonna say? Fuck.
And Shiver actually, he kind of had a. This is something a lot of people don't know. He kind of had a beef with X one time ago.
Whoa.
Now
That's fucking.
I don't know the whole backstory. I think Rowan does. Of course, he's a fanboy, so he knows it. But I don't really know the full backstory. This is what I got from it. There's a song that Shiver released like 2 years ago, I think, called "Shoot at Me," and he actually when X died, he said "Rest in Peace" on his Twitter, and not him, but someone part of Anti-World on the YouTube channel, because that song was uploaded, made a statement saying that like we took XX Tentacion diss out of the title in respect. The lyrics don't really hold up now, but this is entertainment. This didn't mean ill will on him or anything, because some lyrics were pretty eerie. Where it's like a minute-long song diss track, but it's kind of almost a parody of X. And his lyrics, he's like talking about how he's gonna sip tea on his grave and stuff. And he said something to make a joke of him about Drake, the Drake thing, and like it sounds like "shoot at me, shoot at me." It kind of sounds like "look at me" or something like that. But there's a video. I don't know if it's ever been confirmed. I'm assuming it's him. There's a video of X you can find on Reddit. X is screaming on the phone to this guy. You don't know who it is, really, but he's in a car. And Ski Mask is there, and he's screaming at this guy on the voice. He's screaming at this guy on the phone. He's like, because X was always been crazy and like likes to yell, screaming at people and stuff, and he's all like, "You're a bitch! You're a bitch! When I see you, I'm gonna fuck you up. You paint your nails and wear high heels and shit. You think you just look like a bitch and stuff." The way you described him was definitely fucking Shiver. That's who it was. The painting the nails, the high heels, because in his music videos, that's how he always looks like that. He always wears like black lipstick, thought colors and stuff, and like high heels and black nails.
I'm so excited.
He also says too in the rant, X's rant, he says, "Nobody listens to you. Nobody knows who you are. Don't diss me." And it's pretty clear that it was actually Shiver he's talking on the phone. But
I'm really just a bit of a tangent. I'm like really excited when some of my Dream Pop songs are done, so I can start doing videos for them. Because like I'm gonna do do the whole character of like do my whole drag queen character with that kind of thing. I'm really excited to wear makeup and stuff and do like weird 80s chromatic style videos or something like that. But yeah, that's like so fucking crazy what kind of connections people can have over the internet.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Well, it's like, it's all SoundCloud connection, but then just that's so weird when SoundCloud rappers blow up the way they do, so that they're being shouted out by Kendrick Lamar and Kanye West.
Yeah, because there's two other things. Some guy I actually had on this podcast, Navi. He's a SoundCloud rapper. He knows a lot of the guys in Anti-World, Shiver's group and stuff. He actually hung out one time backstage, smoked with Ski Mask and stuff. He actually talked to him and stuff before they were actually popular. X was there, but he didn't meet him or anything because they were like nobodies and stuff. And because they live in the same area, they're like complete nobodies, but they blew up. But of course, but there's some other rappers there too, like to play in the show. Navi was one of them. Of course, they never really blew up or anything, but it's just kind of interesting, all the connections. Well, it's like I think Shiver and some other Anti-World guys, Space Goes Perp. I don't know if he's made beats for them or they just bought beats. I'm assuming they bought beats, but if you go on Wikipedia, Space Goes Perp's Wikipedia, Syringe is listed under like production credits, and Ego Mackie is another guy who's in Anti-World. He's listed. Space Goes Perp's really weird because he's almost the one that started the whole SoundCloud rap sound, but nobody really gives him credit. Like recently, Denzel Curry actually, because he was in the group Raider Clan. Denzel Curry was, and in a recent interview, he actually shouted out Space Goes Perp for creating the stuff. But
that's good, man.
And then Denzel Curry is the one that made the "I am the one, the way
The
it's
one there
on."
under the sun. Fucking classic.
He Space Ghost Perp. A lot of people don't like, because the stuff he said a lot of controversial stuff. He's actually had beef with ASAP Mob a long time ago because he said he didn't give a fuck about ASAP Yam's death or something like that. And people were like pissed. Even X was on that diss track. It's called Space Ghost Pussy. Denzel Curry diss track a long time ago. X was in Ski Mask were on it, and but Denzel they made up because that was like old news. Like, yeah, that was stupid, whatever. But a lot of people don't like Space Ghost Perp because he's pretty blunt. He doesn't really he doesn't kiss people's asses and stuff. If you go on his Twitter, he always deletes and creates his Twitter every single month. He always creates a new Twitter every single month, and he like shit posts on Twitter, and he's hilarious though. But but he like people know who he is, but like he talks to everybody like a normal person and stuff. Like he doesn't care. Like, he's not really popular, but he's just a pioneer that started all this shit, but never really got any credit or recognition or anything. But I don't know. It's interesting, all the connections and stuff. But
yeah, I'm a bit like intimidated. Like, I don't know where I'm going with my music because I kind of just do it for myself, really. But like, I don't know where I'm going with the fucking music, but like, hopefully it's a good place. And I just really don't. I don't want to get too involved with so many different people because it's just like I'm just a weird person. I just slip up a lot of the times, and that can just but when you're part of a community and stuff like that, slipping up can just become a huge thing. And it's just like I'm just here to make some music, and hopefully that's what people will let me do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I started rap. I did my whole Pepsi Maximus thing, but which is cool. But I'm retiring that because
I see.
There's no really growth because I was just like my attempt. I just said this in a Facebook comment post, but I was just trying to be like pretty much like a Lil B, which is cool. It was fun. It was fun making that type of music, but it was fun making that type of music, even ear rape, SoundCloud rap. So it was fun. It's fun, but there wasn't really any growth, really. And I felt like because I want to make more, I've been making more ambitious kind of music and stuff. So I'm like, I don't want Pepsi Maximus to be the fucking. It's just where I started. That's just where I started. I don't want that to be the fucking the spotlight. I'm doing the radical sheave.
Yeah, I don't like being tied down to shit like that. That's why, my most recent project was like a whole Beach Boys thing, and now I'm doing a dream pop thing.
Yeah,
maybe
and actually,
like a Bob Dylan kind of thing.
Yeah, but and Rowan is like the only like Pepsi Maximus critic of ever anybody. He's a critic of Pepsi Maximus, but he never liked a lot of Pepsi. He liked some of the stuff, but he never liked a lot of it and stuff. He thought it was just awful, straight up unlistenable. But and I get it. I made it like that too, and he gets it too because he's made stuff like that, music like that too. So it's like, yeah, we get it.
Well, I've made stuff like that. I have this weird thing that me and my brother, this weird beat thing that my brother made, where it kind of just sounds like a Gorillaz song of it, and then my brother just comes up with this funniest, just weird, dumb funny chorus. It's like, "Ooh, we were flying home. We are birds of the mega zone." Ooh, it's just. We are flying home. We are birds of the mega zone. It's so fucking great. I forgot about this because I was gonna ask if you wanted to use it or just like rap over or something like that. I'll ask my brother if it's okay if I let someone else do something with it. It's just I'll just send you. Like,
okay, yeah, send it to me.
Yeah, it's like it's nothing serious. It's a dumb joke.
Don't really. I've actually been singing lately.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I actually kind of developed my singing. It's kind of weird because I have sung. Actually, that's how I started. I started singing before rapping, but I never really liked my singing voice. It's always been kind of like average, I guess. I kind of started to develop my own not really developing style, but I'm getting it down kind of good. My singing style kind of fluctuates. I kind of sound like Lou Reed a lot.
Oh, that's a good thing
because
to have.
it's actually good for me because I started singing like Lou Reed because I can't really. He has kind of a monotonous voice.
Yeah.
It sounds good, but it's very my voice is kind of like that too, and so we kind of have the same voice. So
my voice is too high for it to like, or
yeah.
I have a way too melodic voice for to do something Lou Reedy like this or Leonard Cohen-y with like the speak talky thing without it coming off as kind of weird. That's why I'd be more like Bowie than Lou Reed in that kind of regard.
Yeah. But my track I'm gonna release soon-ish. The new track I recorded. Some of those newer songs I've been singing. The new track I actually kind of sound like Bjork. Unintentionally sound like her. Like I don't know. It was weird because when I was making it, I wasn't really thinking that, but it came out like that. Maybe because I listened to her a lot. But
I'm really hoping one day I can lay down a track, an instrumental that is as good as Hyper Ballad by Bjork, which is just one of the greatest things I have ever heard in my life. But you know, something's too unique that I don't want to like totally rip it.
Like I want Radical. The point of Radical Sheave is I released an album. I don't know, a husband though. I listened
to some of that. I liked it.
That was not that wasn't really a best representation. That album is like bedroom pop rap kind of.
Nice. Did you personally know the guys who did the beats for that, or was it just kind of like
no, I didn't.
Just borrowed.
I borrowed their stuff. But this new album, Art Pop Waifu, there's a theme.
Yeah.
Art Pop Waifu is a lot more actually. Well, I'm making like art pop music. It sounds more art pop-ish. There's some of the Husbando stuff in there, but it's more of it has more art pop and I'm more singing, more I just pretty much now just want to make that kind of music.
Well, like, if you want a free beat for it, hit me up. I'll try to make some.
All right, that's cool. Thanks. But yeah, like I just want to make like I want to be like a male art pop like person, like someone like because you know there's always been female like because I'm like you know like over the years like Kate Bush is almost like
you got your Kate Bushes and your
Kate Bush, Bjork, Grimes is like the modern female. Lord.
I love Lord. Lord's really good. There's an. I was talking about this with my friend. This is interesting. I guess we make for an interesting conversation. Have you heard of Billie Eilish?
Yeah,
I've heard some of her stuff. She's all right.
She's all right. She's all right, but she kind of annoys me as a person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people. Yeah, that's the kind of consensus I get is that she's kind of like sort of obnoxiously hyped. When I thought she was fucking Instagram. I don't know how I ended up following her on Instagram, but I did. Where are the avocados? I just ended up following her. I thought she was just like another one of those like just models who's like friends with, I don't know, Bella Thorne, some shit. But no, I guess she's an artist and she's young too. And I listened to some of her stuff. It's all right. She doesn't even have an album out yet. But like, my friend was looking at tickets, and maybe it's just because like the official sales aren't out yet, and this is just like some sketchy website pre-sale prediction, and maybe it's deluxe. I don't know, but it was fucking like $95, and it's just like, what the fuck? And as she pointed out, like she got Interpol tickets for $35. It's like Interpol, they're a well-established revolutionary New York rock band, and they charge cheaper. You know, it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I mean that's not too out there. I saw the Jesus and Mary chain for $30.
I think Billie Eilish. Well, isn't she's actually? I looked it up. She is related to some people in the industry.
I heard that her brother wrote her songs. That's the thing. So
yeah, she's an industry plant.
Exactly. That it's always
Clairo. People say Clairo.
It's always women too. No,
people say Clairo is an industry plant.
Her dad is part of a record company. Actually.
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
Yeah, and I actually remember discovering that Pretty Girl video and didn't really have that many views. And I thought it was just weird. I actually liked it. I was like, this is
I like it, but knowing that she's an industry plant kind of makes the video seem disingenuous. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And who I think is an industry plant, I was not part of that scene, but part of rap. I think Lil Pump's an industry plant for sure. Because he just blew up out of nowhere. And he started recording music like in 2016. And he's all like, yeah, I just never recorded a song before. And his music just so happens to blow up. Like how it just sometimes seems sketchy there.
Seems suspicious.
Yeah. People say I don't think he's an industry plant at all. Actually, is Post Malone.
Probably not.
I think he has connections. That's how he got popular, but I don't think he's an industry plant because I know for a fact he made music and stuff before he was famous and stuff. So
Chance the Rapper is considered an industry plant, right?
Yeah, he's related to some people. He like he met like Obama and stuff.
Wow.
Like he knew Obama like and shit. Like
is he a Chicago?
Not that Obama has any connections in the music industry, but I'm saying
Chicago-based rapper.
He knew a lot of people, like famous people, kind of like in that circle.
Well, Chance is from Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, Obama is a very personable guy, so he probably like got to know a lot of people. He probably comes back to his community a lot and probably got to know a bunch of people, including hey, this up and coming local rapper. I don't know.
Yeah, but he knew him when he's like a kid and stuff.
Ah.
Like his dad, I think, worked as like a government or something like that. There's something like that. Like someone's relatives worked, and he got to meet Obama when he was like a kid and stuff. Or he was really like nobody, but he met him and stuff. But
well, one of the
I guess what was that?
One of the original industry plants was Lana Del Rey, right? Like, what didn't she like? They like made her this whole video where it's like she's a bedroom pop and stuff like that. But like everyone found out she like made a song for a video game and like she was on Jules Holland and stuff like that. Like I think Lana Del Rey was built.
I didn't know she was an industry plant.
Yeah, not really an industry plant, but like when she broke through, it was all very marketed as like indie bedroom pop. But like you look back and she already was like doing all these different festivals and radio shows and stuff like that.
And industry plants, it doesn't necessarily mean that makes some music bad or anything.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It makes it when they try doing stuff like that, it makes it inauthentic.
Exactly. So. It makes it more disingenuous. And like the appeal of stuff like Pretty Girl, it's like, wow, she recorded this in her bedroom, like bedroom pop. And it looks really simple. But then you're like, doesn't add up.
Even a lot of people, there's a lot of famous, like good musicians that pretty much got, popular just because they had the connections and stuff. Like even like Beach Boys, wasn't their dad? What was the background? I forgot. Was it their dad or someone recorded? And they knew some dude or something like that.
Well, no. So the Beach Boys, their dad Murray was like he was an avid music fan and he had some moderate talent, and like their dad had like a song that like got published. But like and I think their dad had some friends who owned a studio so that they get their demo recorded. But I think their success was just kind of like just a result of having a very angry dad as their manager who would go around and yell at people to play their songs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But then
a lot of people accuse the Beatles of being not plants, but like of it being rigged because their manager owned a record store, stuff like that. So they said like he was like rigging the charts. I don't know how he could have done that. It's just like, well, no, just on the records.
Kate Bush is actually kind of she's not industry.
Well, she was discovered by David Gilmour.
Yeah, she just.
That's how I found out about Kate Bush, was because I was a fan of Pink Floyd, and I heard the name Kate Bush. But I didn't look it up until much later, until recently, actually, because when my friend told me that Kate Bush was better than Bjork, I was like, well, I'm gonna have to try that.
No,
and then I listened. I don't agree, but then I listened.
Both.
But I did listen to Hounds of Love, and it was like so amazing. I had to listen to it again.
I love both, but she's Bjork. But then Bjork she was just born with like not wealth, but just like fucking these music connections in Iceland. Because Iceland, she recorded like that album when she's like 10 or something.
She was like in a punk band when she was a teenager. Then she was in a Sugar Cubes, and like suddenly she has her own solo career when she's 30. But she's also blessed with beautifully young, youthful look. So like she's having her breakout career when she's 30, but she looks like she's 20.
I know, it's just funny because she like regrets like a lot of the stuff when she was like music. She was younger because it's funny they just kind of handed it to her. It was almost like they were just like, oh yeah, she's talented, and they're like, oh, let's just record her music, and she became like a legend just quick from a kid just because there isn't much in Iceland.
Yeah.
She's like the most interesting thing in Iceland. They're like, oh well, I guess she's like, the most famous person there now because she did something interesting.
So between Mark David Chapman, who shot John Lennon, and that guy who probably sent a bomb to Bjork before he killed himself.
Ricardo Lopez, yeah.
Who do you think was the better stand?
I think Ricardo. Because, yeah. Well, what were we saying? Like, who's better at being a stand?
I don't know. Who's just like the more legendary stand? Maybe Mark David Chapman, because like
Mark David Chapman's the most legendary, but Ricardo Lopez is a bigger stand for sure.
Well, yeah, because he had like all this wealth of videos and stuff before.
Yeah,
it's just so fucking so fucking creepy though. It's just
yeah, it's just it's disturbing. Is that watching those videos? It's more.
I never watched.
I'm not even really sad. I don't even feel sad. I feel like it's just more pathetic.
Disgusted a bit.
Yeah, it's like this is pathetic. Like I don't really like feel bad for him. This is just
like Chris Chan, where it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's like this is just like pathetic. And
you've got to be a good person for me to feel sad for you.
Yeah,
like, I feel sad for Daniel Johnston because he's like a good person and makes.
Yeah, he is the OG bedroom pop artist.
Yeah, exactly. Daniel Johnston is so profound. It's just
he is the OG bedroom pop artist. The OG. But
outsider music is so interesting. Though people like Daniel Johnston and Wesley Willis, I like listening to their stuff. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like people gawk at them a bit much. It's kind of like, wow, look at this person who is.
But Wesley Willis, I get more. But Daniel Johnston, I have a really hard time.
He's got
Daniel Johnson's actually is genuinely talented.
Generally talented, but a very troubled boy. So it's just like
it makes a great song. I think he's a great songwriter.
Yeah, he makes just very poignant, simple love songs and ditties and stuff like that. And it's just that makes his music, the listening experience, very haunting to listen to someone like Daniel Johnston.
I like how his older music was recorded because it's like haunting stuff, but it's very fitting, the stuff he's singing about and stuff. Like you can tell, like it just sounds like you're in the mind of like just like a very like distressed, like
a lonely boy with a lot of problems.
Yeah,
a lot of it motivated by like his high school crush or something like that. That was like a big, like I forget her name, but it's like kind of big.
Yeah, have you seen the documentary?
I haven't.
That's one of my favorite.
I need to watch it.
Not one of my favorite not just one of my favorite documentaries, but okay. That and American Movie are my two.
I need to see that too. God damn.
Those are my two favorite documentaries of all time.
Speaking of documentaries, today I saw the Mr. Rogers documentary. I cried 3 times. It was so fucking sad.
I didn't watch it. That's actually playing it in actually like a small theater near where I live.
The whole time watching that movie, like my heart was kind of in my throat, hoping like I wasn't gonna find out something I didn't like. Nothing. There was literally like nothing in there that like. Also, because it's kind of controlled, but like you're never gonna hear nothing about Mr. Rogers being a bad person because you just can't. It's one of the few people where some people where it's like they're so good, but these days, especially these days, you find out the awful things about people you really like. Mr. Rogers, I don't think you will ever find anything bad about him.
It was funny. I had this discussion with my friends the other day. I was joking around, and I was like. Yeah, like he's like something about Mr. Rogers. We're talking about him, and I was joking about him being like or something. I said something just made up some stupid thing, and he actually got kind of defensive. I was like, Mr. Rogers is a great person. He's a great person.
That's
and
like
then, and I said like, well, how? I was joking around. I was busting his balls, not being serious. I was like, well, how he was and stuff, but. It's just funny because like you say exactly what he said. Like, how can you? And I agree to a certain extent. I don't know much about his life.
I can never bring myself to joke about Mr. Rogers. It's just something. It's one of the few things that is like straight up offends me. Like, or not like really, it legitimately offends me. It's like it's something I can't joke about. I could never joke about Mr. Rogers being a pedophile because I could never believe it to be true. And I would never want it to be true because he was just such a good man who cared about children for no ulterior motive than he cared about children.
Yeah, but what was the what the documentary like what did it make you sad? Like his life was sad?
Well, it didn't make me sad because it wasn't too much sad material. It just made me cry because it was just so beautiful and
like he was such a great person. He was like
such a good person. There was just so much sweet stuff in it, so much profound stuff. It was a part of my childhood. And, he was just such a loving man to everyone, kids and adults. And like one of the actors from the show, he was the black guy who played the police officer. Mm-hmm. And he asked Mr. Rogers, like, when you say I love you the way you are you talking to me? He's like, I've been talking like that to you for 2 years. I love you. He told the actor he loved you. And he like the guy in an interview for the documentary, he just starts crying. He's like, no one ever told me that they loved me like that. Not my dad, not my stepdad, but he did, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like the part that had my heart in my throat was that actor, he was gay. And Mr. Rogers found out that he was at a gay bar, and he told the guy that he couldn't go there because he didn't want to lose sponsors for the show. And I was like, oh no. But then like the guy said that like years later, Mr. Rogers came around and accepted it. I was like, oh, that's good. That's really good.
I just picture Mr. Rogers going to gay bars like,
no, it was the actor.
The actor.
Yeah,
okay.
Gay. Like, he just had no hateful bone in his body, and he did all he could to break social taboos against black people. And actually, I didn't know this. The first episode of Mr. Rogers, where they go to the land of make believe, it's all about like how the king of that land is like wants to build a wall for isolationism. Like, and he was making metaphors to the Vietnam War. And that when Bobby Kennedy got shot, they straight up made an episode where one of the little guys from the land of make believe is like, what does assassination mean? He's like, it's when someone kills another person for a very particular reason. It's like, so is that why that man shot another man? And like they addressed the Bobby Kennedy thing. It's like, now I thought Sesame Street was ballsy for like addressing the death of an actor, but like this was like, I had no idea about this stuff. Like they addressed the Kennedy assassination, stuff like that. And like, it's funny because like Mr. Rogers kind of stopped making the show after a while, after he recorded a lot of episodes. And then when he found out that little kids were jumping off of buildings to pretend to be Superman, Mr. Rogers was like, realized he hadn't done enough. Now he needs to address other stuff. So he went back to making Mr. Rogers episodes, talking about, you know, what's real and what's not real. And then there's just so much other stuff going on. I was like, oh, I need to talk to kids about this Challenger explosion, stuff like that. And even after the show was defunct, after 9/11 happened, they got Mr. Rogers to kind of just talk to the nation, because I think everyone, adults and children, just kind of needed to hear something from Mr. Rogers. You know, he was like an evangelical minister, and like he kind of spread his dogma around the world, and never once mentioning God or something like that, because like he felt like he didn't need to do it religiously. He just felt like he just needed to do the core fundamentals of whatever religion should be, which is, you know, love people and love yourself. And no, the horrible thing is, there were people who picketed his funeral because he tolerated gay people. So they said he was going to hell because he didn't like, you know, I don't think Mr. Rogers ever publicly said anything about gay people, like you're valid and stuff like that. But the fact that he never denounced gay people, that made it reason enough for the Westboro Baptist Church kind of people to protest his funeral, which I think is fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, George Romero for the Dead movies directed one of his segments.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he directed like Mr. Rogers Goes to the Dentist. As Romero said, if you were part of the film industry in Pittsburgh, everyone worked for Fred Rogers. Everyone,
because I knew he directed like TV episodes a long time ago. I know that. I didn't know he did Mr. Rogers.
Yep.
Well, because I don't even think when I almost called 9 Living Dead 9/11.
I thought you were gonna go into 9/11.
they rhyme, but 9 Living Dead, when he made that, I don't even think it, because it's a cult movie and stuff. I don't even really think it was really like, well, it's a very low budget movie, but I don't even think it really like did well when it's released. I don't think it did.
It was like sort of a midnight movie. And here's the funny thing, because like it was put on a lot of like double features. So like, but double features that kids went to see. So kids would, and like cheap or like cult double features. So kid would go to see Doctor Who and the Daleks, and then like minutes later, then like after it was done, kids would see Night of the Living Dead, because they thought it was just gonna be another B movie with spooky ghouls, but it was like this very gory, violent movie with flesh eating, and kids were traumatized. And that's what started the whole rating systems, because like people realized like, oh wait, we can't just go and see everything because it's not a porno, you know, like the line was like at the time the line was porn and not porn. But then like really gritty movies started coming out, and it was like, all right, we're gonna
like it's kind of weird. The rating system is really weird. Some of the movies, because they're not really as bad nowadays if considered back then. Because like, was a
like a Clockwork Orange is like rated X, and it's rated R now, which that sounds about right because it's not. There's some fucked up stuff, but it's not really. It's like an R-rated movie overall.
It's an R-rated movie in every sense of the term.
Yeah, but it's just funny back then. Like some of the stuff was ridiculous. Like I'm trying to think of some examples. Some movies that are rated X. Like if there's like movies where like they're shooting each other and there's like blood, they'd just be like, oh yeah, it's an X, just because of that. And it's like, you know, but then there was like movies like Jaws. The first Jaws that came out was rated PG. It still is. Oh my god. Which nowadays it'd probably be like a PG-13, but
well, they'd probably give it an R because there's nipples in it, lady nipples. Though they're very distorted by the water. Yeah, I don't know.
But there's like blood in it and stuff, so that's why it's really hard to believe that's PG. But
kids get killed, and there's some kids who get the axe in the film, so. I think like if you kill kids, I don't think you'd get an R rating just for killing kids, but if you kill kids enough, actually people just don't kill kids that much. But that's funny. You have a movie like Face Off where like a kid gets murked right away. Kid gets murked by Nicolas Cage in John Travolta's arms. If you haven't seen Face Off, it's on Netflix. It is worth a watch because it is John Travolta, FBI, Nicolas Cage, international terrorist. Nicolas Cage becomes a vegetable, but they need more information. So John Travolta obtains Nicolas Cage's face, and then Nicolas Cage wakes up from the coma and obtains John Travolta's face. So you have the two hammiest actors in all of Hollywood playing.
Yeah, I know what it is. But
it's so.
I haven't seen it. I know what it is though. But yeah, I was actually watching. I'm a film buff, so but I know a lot of fucking shit. But I was watching. I have this DVD box that I bought a long time ago. Yeah. It has like 50 movies on it, but it's one of those where all the movies are
shitty cheap movies. I have one of those for horror movies.
Yeah, I do too. And I was watching it today because I haven't watched it in a long time, and one of the movies on there, it was just like like a lot of the movies where they're horror movies, but there are movies where they didn't like really show anything or nothing really happened throughout the entire movie. But Night of the Living Dead's on.
Exactly. Everyone knows. Like that's like the thing. It's like 50 shitty cheap horror movies, but it also has Nosferatu, Night of the Living Dead, and Phantom of the Opera, which are public domain. So it's like you got all these shitty ones, but then you also have like 3 of the best horror movies, classic horror movies of all time, and it's worth it.
Yeah, so we might actually have the same one.
I don't know. The one I had has a. The one I had Phantom of the Opera on the front cover. Yeah. Yep. My little sister was terrified of that image. She loves the musical, but she was terrified of the classic movie one. So we had her like, I don't know if this was a deliberate move. No one thought about it, but like my sister got it for us for Christmas, my older sister. And my little sister was unwrapping it. She just goes, ah! It's just the picture of the Phantom on it. It's like, oh, she was terrified of that thing for the longest time.
I
loved it. I thought that
I have movie posters in my room, and a lot of them are like the old horror movie ones.
I fucking love that Phantom of the Opera makeup. That shit is fucking legendary. Yeah. And Nosferatu too. Nosferatu is a fucking art. Like some of the shots in that movie are fucking art. Like the shadow, stuff like that. The Orlok standing in the doorway. My favorite is the stuff on the beach. It's public domain, so I want that to be like an album cover at one point.
Friday, actually it's on the 31st in that local theater near me. They show like a lot of smaller movies and stuff, but they're showing like a re-release of Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. I'm gonna see it.
I need to see that. That was another one I think that was on the set. That's another one of those public domain German expressionist movies that just look amazing.
Yeah, Dr. Caligari is cool because it's literally like the set. It looks like a play.
Yeah,
but like it's almost like a cheap play. But the way the way in the enhances, but even like the visuals, like the sets and everything, they're cheap looking, but they're cool looking.
There are some VFX in silent films that are so weirdly ambitious and strange. Like they do so much different kind of like overlaying with different kind of films, like for example, there's like a silent version of Dante's Inferno that, you know, it doesn't look real, but like they managed to make it just look like this weird, like one of the greatest special effects plays of all time, but a movie. As a movie, it's kind of cheap special effects, but if you saw that as a play, it would look amazing, you know? You know what I mean? Like, you know, like silent film like Dante's Inferno and shit like that. Yeah, Caligari looks amazing, and yeah, that's kind of where Tim Burton aped everything.
Yep. Actually, Burton aped a lot from that one Rankin-Bass movie, Mad Monster Party. I don't know if you know what that is.
What Rankin-Bass movie?
Mad Monster Party. It's actually the only theatrical movie they ever released.
Wow, really?
I watched it when I was a kid.
Wait,
and
didn't Rankin-Bass do The Last Unicorn though? I think that was theatrical too, right?
Yeah, but this is stop motion. This is a stop motion movie. Nice. I watched it when I was a kid, and I really liked it when I was a kid and stuff. I still like it and stuff, like nostalgia and stuff. And Tim Burton still like took a lot from that movie. The stop motion, like, you know,
I'm looking at
the horror stop motion stuff.
I'm looking it up now, and it does look pretty cool.
Yeah,
this definitely looks like something I would definitely.
And it's all tribute to all like the classic monsters and stuff.
Definitely looks like something I'm gonna watch on Halloween. It looks.
That's what actually got me into those movies, was that movie in particular, because I wanted to because I really liked that movie when I was a kid, and I was like, what, did these they have their own movies? And that's how I got into all that stuff.
When I was a kid, first there's many different factors. When I was a kid, there's kind of this family myth that my great aunt was Mary Shelley. And there's also, like, you know, we watched the Abbott and Costello movies as a kid, so that's
I watched those,
Frankenstein and stuff like that. And then there's this electronic museum in Minnesota, a museum about electricity called the Bakken Museum, and they have this weird like light and sound show about Frankenstein, which terrified me when I saw it because they have this jump scare near the end, and it's more book accurate, and the book is very creepy and chilling, and like they had to like just it was all done with like shadows, and it was like because it's just like, you know, they just pull a lever and it just goes, and like there's pre-recorded stuff. It was just like this kind of light and sounds exhibit, that theatrical thing, I guess. It's like a mad demented puppet show kind of thing.
I got in. Well, that's Mad Monster Friends probably what got me into all that shit. Mad Monster Friends and Abbott Costello is probably what got me into all that shit. But
I love
when I was a kid.
I fucking love that shit. So many people a lot of people like to be contrarian, like, you know, those Rankin-Bass stuff, I didn't really like them. It's like, fuck off. Year Without a Santa Claus is great. The Snow Miser and the Heat Miser are great. Motherfucker. And also, the guy who voiced the Heat Miser is a motherfucking G, all right? Because he came back to voice the Heat Miser years later when he was like 90. And that guy recorded the audiobooks for Scary Stories.
How can you shit on, like, you can't shit on Rudolph, man. That's like Wizard. That's like shitting on Wizard of Oz.
Exactly. Oh my god. Well, luckily no one shits on Wizard of Oz. People like to shit on Rudolph.
I don't really hear people talk Rudolph.
People want to be very transgressive on kids stuff because they just want to be like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just like make fun of kids stuff.
Oh, this is what's weird to me. I know a lot of people. There's a lot of people that can't watch a lot of like older movies and stuff, but they can watch like older kids movies. I don't know, so they're okay with that because I guess they grew up with it, so it's okay. Like in a lot of the Disney movies and that stuff, and so it's just. To me, it doesn't make sense.
Mary Poppins is another untouchable. And oh god, so on Asa, you know Asa Akira, the porn star, right? On her Instagram story, she was like, well, I guess she was like looking for movies to watch, and she was one of them was Mary Poppins, and it said like 10 out of 10 IMDb score, and she's like, 10 out of 10? I don't think so, IMDb. It's like, shut up, you fucking bitch. Mary Poppins is perfect. Your movies are mediocre. You're not that good of a porn star. You're just
she is.
You're popular because you're mimetic and you're like on radio shows and you're on the Eric Andre show. Like, no disrespect to her, I guess, but it's just like, fuck off. Mary Poppins is great. It's a perfect film.
Yeah, there's certain and there's certain ones I don't really care for, but I respect it. I understand like why it's important and stuff, but I just with the old movie thing. I to me personally, I'm glad I grew up with parents who just didn't give a shit what movies they showed me or not, because I'm glad I had parents because I know a lot of people that like, I'm not going to show my kids this because this is old, and like that just really limits, because I felt limited with like music. It wasn't limited with movies, but with music it definitely was, and that's why like over the years I discovered music. Like, why was I listening to this back then? Why was that? What?
Yeah.
And but with movies, I just don't get the whole old movie. I just don't get it, because like with movies, same with music, if it's good, I'll like it. I don't give a fuck when it came out. If it's good, it's good. Like,
yeah, I never got that. Like, people who just wouldn't watch old stuff, and it's just like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, but it's weird because the same people that can't do that, they're okay with listening like old music, which I don't get. It's like that stuff came out exact same time as these movies and stuff. It's like, I don't.
In my experience, it's both. Unless it's Disney, they won't watch anything old.
Yeah,
why not? Because Disney's good. It was weird with like a lot of kids movies and stuff like that. When I was a kid, a lot of like the sad or like nostalgic parts of those I just couldn't grasp, there's just weird stuff. As like the older I get, I'm able to grasp what sad things are like. When I was a bit younger and everyone told me Yesterday by the Beatles was just a sad song, I just kind of didn't get it. But then I got older and I kind of recognized sadness a bit more.
Yeah,
now I get it, and now that song makes me sad when I listen to it. Or like the ending of Winnie the Pooh. When I watched that as a kid, I never thought anything of it, but then recently I watched the ending of Winnie the Pooh just like on YouTube, and I was like, oh, fuck me, this makes me want to cry.
A lot of the kids movies I started rewatching a lot of kids movies, like there are a lot of like really depressing.
Yeah, and not even just make you sad, like just sort of poignant moments. It's like the ending of Winnie the Pooh, where it's just like, promise you'll remember me, Pooh. Oh, I will. And it's just like, I remembered you too. And it's just Wizard of Oz. Like at the end of Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy's saying goodbye to all her friends, and it's just like, oh, this makes me sadder as an adult than as a kid.
Yeah,
there's like,
I've noticed that, like, just movies like God, this is actually like a depressing movie now I think about it, like because like like I'm watching some of like the movies, and because like the situations the characters go through and stuff, and sometimes they're like, they always have happy endings and stuff, but it's just like, God, like that's kind of that person's character had a fucked up day. Wow. Like, for example, Monsters Inc., for example, like, when the Boo was going through and stuff, it's like,
imagine.
I started thinking about, I'm like, God, this is like, the kids probably like traumatized now.
That's why Monsters University had to be a prequel, because if they had to if they did a sequel, they just have to go into the weird. They had the total opportunity to make a really good sequel, because Monsters Inc. ends with a bit of wish fulfillment, where it's like, Boo, Kitty. What I think would have been better was if time kind of moves a little differently in the monster world than in the real world. So like, it's been a year for Sullivan, but he goes back and like Boo is like a teenager now, and she's like, fuck, you were real, and she's angry. That's like that. They actually did that in Doctor Who. That was the thing where like Doctor Who he falls through out of his time machine, and he meets this little girl, and he's like, let's go. She's like, can I go on an adventure with you? He's like, fine, I'll be back in a second. But he doesn't come back in a second. He comes back 15 years later, and she's like very fucking pissed off with him, because this whole time he was this imaginary friend to her, but she knew he was real, and everyone kind of gaslighted her about it. And now that he finds out that she finds out that he's real, she's really fucking pissed off at him. So it's like, it's like weird time travel stuff like that. But that Doctor Who thing was made in 2010. Monsters Inc. was made way earlier. They could have done something really good with that. They didn't.
Yeah.
I still haven't gone out to see Incredibles 2 because I just don't care.
Yeah, I don't either. I heard Mr. Incredible's like a cock or something. I've heard that.
I heard that he's like a douchebag.
Like he's a bitch. I've heard he's like a bitch in it and stuff.
He's like a total jealous douchebag. Like, yeah, how many times have we seen that before? There was just such a hype cycle around it from like 90s kids. And the worst thing was like you fucking dumb little 4-year-old, stay out of the fucking theater. This is our fucking movie. It's like those kids, like those kids. like me pushing 4-year-olds out of the way to see Incredibles 2 and stuff, or like it's like loud, these loud fucking little kids better not fucking ruin my Incredibles 2 experience. And then I'm watching videos of like guys walking into the theater dressed as Frozen shouting, "Where's my super suits?" Like, oh. And no, this is maybe pot calling the kettle black because I cried 3 times during a Mr. Rogers documentary, but it's like, grow up just a little bit. Don't grow up all the way, just a little bit.
What's with this is what's really weird. Everybody, every generation, they get nostalgic for like movies they grew up with and stuff. But what's with people born in the 80s and like early 90s, that gap, that like never grow out, like they have this weird like these kids movies and shows are like sacred. And like they brag about people
like millennial people, like Nostalgia Critic and shit like that.
That age group. These are sacred, like
sacred
movies. Like it's so weird. Like because other generations, younger and older, don't do that and stuff. Like they get nostalgic and stuff, but they don't. Like they never grow out of like phases. Like they're like everything that like I'm sick. A lot of stuff in the 80s were cool, but I'm fucking sick of the 80s nostalgia.
80s cartoons fucking sucked, all right?
Yeah.
Like I like the movie they made for Transformers, but the show is so like okay, I like Transformers for an aesthetic purpose just because it's entertaining, but like it's not like a good quality cartoon show. Like cartoons really didn't get good until the 90s. Though I hate when people all try to be revisionist like these sort of Steven Universe kind of people who are just like cartoons I've never been as good as they are now. No. 90s and
all that stuff they like started in the 90s.
Yeah. And like it's really cliche to be like the best cartoons were from the 90s, but like they kind of were like the Simpsons.
The reason why I don't really like
the whole decade too, like The Simpsons, Animaniacs, Tiny Toon Adventures, Batman the Animated Series, X-Men, The Critic, and then the late 90s where you get like early Family Guy, South Park, stuff like that.
That stuff started all that stuff.
Arthur, there's so many good fucking 90s cartoon shows.
But that stuff started a lot of the stuff you have now. That's what's funny, all the trends. Like a lot of them say like 90s, I don't care for
Go ahead.
I don't care for like what's it called? Like Rick and Morty, that stuff. I don't care for it. But people act like it's genius, but I'm like, but there's stuff in the 90s and stuff that had that humor.
Simpsons is so much smarter than Rick and Morty, but because Rick and Morty goes into science, that makes it smarter. Well, guess what? Simpsons did go into science. They called it Futurama. And Futurama really did have like actual like they invented scientific theorems just for episodes to make sense, like they're actually legitimate genius stuff. And I think there are some smart elements of Rick and Morty. Like the season 2 opener where they like do the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Like when Rick and Morty actually like I think Rick and Morty is good when they actually base their like when they make like they do science fiction, like they actually use science in their science fiction stuff. That's what the best of Futurama is like that. I hate it when it's science fiction parody where it's like, we're just going to do Mad Max. We're going to do Blade. We're going to do, and like, I like how it's like, oh, well, we're very obscure references. We referenced Zardoz. Like
they're still keeping Dan Harmon, I guess, at the Adult Swim. But I wonder, I just don't know what the impact, like legacy. I hope if they're gonna make another Rick and Morty season after this season, I hope they make an episode making fun of almost the situation.
Yeah,
that'd be a good comeback.
I think they should have fired him for the sexual harassment stuff that he admitted he did. I don't really give a shit about the baby thing.
I think the baby almost. My
problem with the baby thing is that like, sure, if you don't fire him, that's fine. Creepy. But give Sam Hyde his show back, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're gonna fire Sam Hyde, fire Dan Harmon. There's got to be a precedent. Either bring Sam Hyde back or fire Dan Harmon.
Well, they kept Dan Harmon because Rick and Morty makes most of their revenue. Except
Sam Hyde is just funnier than Rick and Morty. That's the sad thing.
Yeah, just because Sam Hyde supported Trump, now they get this sort of whole.
And, like,
but then
he hid racist jokes or something.
there was not.
What the fuck ever?
Bro,
I love the Lena Dunham joke he made on the Needle Drop podcast because it's such it's a clever joke. The premise is I'm gonna talk about brutalizing a woman terribly in a self-defense situation.
If that happens,
so if in a self-defense situation, that's so funny. It's so funny. It's like it's great satire. It's like I'm gonna talk about brutalizing women in a self-defense situation.
Yeah, if that happens.
Such a genius. It's such a genius structure of a joke. It's like I'm not saying I'm actually gonna hurt her, but if I'm in a situation where I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna fucking beat her to a bloody pulp. That is a good fucking premise for a joke. Genius. Also, U.S. Marine Hyde is funny, and I can never. 27 paradigm shift. And my favorite clip of him is when you fire this game up, fucking nuts are gonna start quaking, buddy. Gonna shoot hot come.
I like with that U.S. Marine Hyde video. It's like on my other son, building, because there isn't anything stronger than him.
Builders and Hyde.
I love one of my most underrated videos from I always loved was a Giorgio.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
The character that the Batman villain named Giorgio, he created it. He's like, "Bring me the bat. I want the bat." And he's all like,
I love the one he did with his mother and just annoying his mother. Like, my mom is cool. Nah, 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 nah. Mom, I love that. And,
there's that one too where he's annoying his mom with the vain voice. Hello, Batman. Raza, cool. Lego Shadows. She's like, Sam, stop. Just stop. He keeps going.
Well, all right. It's like 1 o'clock here, and I need to get to bed soon. So
right,
probably like wrap it up with just some final stuff to say, I guess. Like, so if you have like any final questions for me, I know this has been not professional or in any way, but I guess I can just kind of tell people what I'm up to.
You could do that, yeah.
So look out for Tino Be Delightful. It's spelled DELITEFUL. My Dream Pop album, Be Delightful. Probably like 20 minutes because that's in trend and I'm fucking lazy. I don't know. Look out for that. I post shit on my SoundCloud whenever. I'm a very casual musician. But just thanks a lot to you, man, for bringing me on this podcast. This was really fun. We had a great talk, I think. And, hit me up if you want to collab. I'll probably be making better music soon, guys, because I'm actually going to school for it and stuff like that. So hopefully, I hope when I get out of school in 2 years, I'm doing like a 2-year thing. Hopefully, I'll be able to make like IDM or something like that because like I really want to make IDM. I hope I know how to make FL Studio eventually. Use FL Studio because those are that's the only software people do tutorials for. That and Ableton, but Ableton requires like really professional education. But yeah, so I put Replicant K in the title. I don't know why. Just put Replicant K.
I already did.
That's my SoundCloud title. Well, thanks for having me on, man. This is really fun. Hopefully, you can have me on again soon. Shooting the shit. And, hopefully I can be a good member of this collective you invited me to.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, man. This is really fun. I'm glad I could be on.
And thanks for listening.
Thank you, everyone.